Hello everyone, and welcome back. Let me make sure we don't hear ourselves twice on the stream there. We are now live and ready to go for the DPC. Yes, that's right, the DPC SEA 2023 Tour 1 Division 2 qualifiers. Yeah, round number 4. This is it. We're in the last round already, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
10 seconds
and it's just myself right now, aka SeekNStrike. Alvaro is he is missing. I've pinged missing. He may have gone on a smoke gank adventure. We'll see if we can catch up with him a little later on today. But thank you guys so much for joining us. And hey, we got our next draft already running. It's Demoka Farm versus RZ Esports, two teams that have been fairly close in the past 3 rounds of actually making it into the closed qualifiers here already, and have fallen just short. I thought it'd be a fitting end, unfortunately, to one of these teams, as this is, of course, our final round, that we go ahead and cover their match today, seeing how close they've always come, and seeing how close they've always been playing every single time. RZ Esports here, Demoka Farm, just yesterday finished 5th and it looks like 9th to 16th respectively. So that means a couple matches away. Open qualifiers number 2. Same kind of story here. I still see RZ Esports, but I don't see Demoka Farm, so it seems like they didn't make it all the way on our second round. And first time around, same story. Demoka Farm and RZ Esports, 5th through 8th. So these have been two teams that have been constantly, you know, really close, honestly, to making it to those closed qualifiers, and have just landed shy. They've facing off against each other in the first round here in our qualifiers. You can see a couple of the other matchups. Looks like this was a walkover here, so pretty lucky for Creatix, because that means they don't actually have to play any Dota today. So roll of the dice, the luck favored them. But we can see we are over on this match. We may decide to follow up and spectate this Unleashed match next. I'd also like to see perhaps what I expect could be an Atomic Esports versus Zen Esports match. That could be next. Hashtag Reaper as well could be another fantastic match. Kobolds and Renewal. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to catch this one because it's probably being played right now as we speak. And I thought we'd spectate a first round match. So here's where we are in the bracket. Final round, everyone. This is it to get into closed qualifiers number 2. Thank you so much for joining in. And let's go ahead. Oh, you know what? That's embarrassing. I actually never showed the bracket. Let me show it real quick, right? Creatix, they're on through. That's what I was talking about here. If you want to scroll through this yourself, you can type ! brackets in the chat and get links here to the ePolls website. We're spectating this one. You can see RZ and Demoka Farm did get. I mean, it's just roll of dice. That's how the bracket formed, and unfortunately, it means only one of them is going to be making it potentially to the final day. Atomic Esports, Zen Esports. I would like to spectate this match next. Kobolds and Renewal already playing. Nerdring Dreamwalker already playing. But yeah, our draft's already developing here. So let's see what's going on. What do we got? Got ourselves a Tuscarora Mars opener. So it is a little bit of a blast from the past. This Marana Mars combo. Of course, still a very strong lane. Could be played as a 5, this Marana, if Snake Kings taught us anything. But I also wouldn't mind seeing it as a 4. This could be a Tusk 4 with the Mars. That strikes me still as a fairly strong lane, especially into the Maiden.
Monkey King.
Monkey King pick comes out. So they are continuing to flex this Tusk between some sort of supports and a mid laner, I would say, at the current moment. RZ Esports doing something similar. They've picked a tiny, and I suspect this is going to end up being a tiny mid of some sort.
10 seconds remaining.
So it's probably a Lina carry, and then you've got yourself this Maiden 5 to support it. So you're going to have the sisters, so the CM Wolf time, as Seth Tribe calls it. Well, maybe not anymore. I guess this is going to be a tiny 4. That'll make this Lina likely a mid. Perhaps they did not want to run this tiny mid into the Monkey King. That seems like a really difficult matchup for tiny, to be honest. Until you maybe get level 5, 6, 7, and then maybe you can actually burst a Monkey. But until then, actually fairly difficult with the ease that Monkey can actually get off those Jingu Mastery stacks and get a whole lot of lifesteal off of you. So with the Ursa Warrior, that'll be the Mars matchup. Not the worst Mars matchup, but obviously one where Mars is slightly playing on the back foot. Does need to be a bit careful with his usage of the spear and making sure that he keeps that 2 spear back in Ursa in case like a frostbite or something comes his way, to make sure he doesn't actually take a death. That might be a little bit spooky here, but he still does have a little bit of aggressive potential, of course, right? Laning with that Mirana, you've got the classic spears, arrow setup.
10 seconds
If it's going to be the
remaining.
Tusk lane, you can spear people to the ice shards. You've got a snowball
5
save.
seconds
You can even go
remaining.
diving aggressively against the Maiden. So, you know, there are moments in this lane where we'll see it go a little bit back and forth, but it's going to be a little bit hard to tell how back and forth it'll be and at what stage they'll be going back and forth until we actually know what the lane is going to be.
Team banned.
Because for now, of course, that's still slightly ambiguous. A couple mid laners being banned out from RZ Esports, so they do expect this monkey safe now, as would I, as now you expect this Lina to be going mid, so they're banning out a couple of annoying matchups for the Lina. Invoker in particular can be very annoying. Lina with her long
10
cast
seconds
animations means that a
remaining.
Quaswex Invoker can usually very effectively EMP,
5
Cold Snap,
seconds
Tornado,
remaining.
whatever the correct combo is there, and basically remove all of Lina's mana in lane. It's one of the more annoying matchups I've seen. Not to mention, if when you do eventually get that urn up, just Cold Snap with the urn procs is super annoying for Lina to deal with
Dire
prior to
team
BKB. So it does require you to rush the item.
Radiant team pick.
Not like it's too dissimilar from Lina's what they want to build first anyway, but it never feels good, you know, to be forced to build a BKB. We'll see though. Demogorgon Farm up to pick first. So they are going to be needing to pick themselves a mid laner. I can't imagine they want to run a Tusk mid anymore, by the
10
way.
seconds remaining.
Tusk, he can close the gap, but I think up until basically level...
5 seconds
Man, the
remaining.
thing is you have to remember, mid lane Tusks don't really go for tag team. It's all snowball and shards to be able to maximize your farm. I believe
Dire
shards
team
first.
pick.
Oh! Okay, maybe I am wrong. Maybe this is a Mars mid then? Really, I mean, I think it has to be a Mars mid. Monkey safe and Enigma off. I don't think you want Monkey mid into Lina either. At least Mars can do a couple spear shenanigans and the Gods Rebuke to
10
secure last hits
seconds
in lane
remaining.
a bit easier. But it's not Tusk mid. I think that'd be a little bit
5
too difficult.
seconds remaining.
So you're looking probably Tusk and Enigma. This lane's actually really good because they did nerf the attack range on the Eidolons. It was a pretty substantial nerf, honestly, to Enigma. But Tusk can actually pull Eidolons into Snowball with him. And that allows you to get on top of, say, for example, a very squishy position 5 like Crystal Maiden with the Eidolons and allow you to pick up a kill. That being said, Maiden's not that weak against Eidolons either. I think the Frost Blast is fairly strong, even if those Eidolons do come with something like 40% magic resist at level 1. And of course, Frostbite, not as good versus Eidolons as it is versus Boars. We'll go ahead and open up our predictions now.
That's play to win, baby!
There we go. But RZ Esports now up to last pick. Looks like they need themselves an offlaner. Is the Beastmaster banned? He is. That would have been maybe a go-to pick for me. I like it. The axes, of course, into Monkey, a BKB piercing stun to cancel a black hole. It's a Veno.
You may now
So another
select your
anti-melee
heroes.
carry hero. Fuyao is going to have lots of damage here to certainly throw out and harass with. But I don't know if it's going to really give them the team fight that it feels like they're kind of lacking. Right now, it seems to me that Kale and someone here are going to have to do a lot of work on the support duo to actually make a lot of stuff happen compared to Wukong's command. I mean, you have the 3 circles of death, right? 3 of them anyway in the game. Yeah, it's interesting as well, as Seth points out, trying to fight into the Wukong's command. Ursa, I think eventually can get that done. You know, even versus high armor heroes, he'll eventually get that done. Monkey King, high armor, low HP. Lots of magic damage here to at least try and burst him between the Lina and the Veno and the Tiny and the Maiden. So it doesn't really quite seem too impossible. Demoka Farm's lanes do seem a little bit stronger, though. This Enigma Tusk lane, I think, is going to kill Maiden anytime she takes a single step out of position. So that's certainly a little bit dangerous, to be sure. And I think Mirana can probably deal with the early levels of Venomancer fairly effectively, as long as she avoids a toss back. So it's a pretty big if there, but it's not a bad last pick. Haven't seen a ton of Veno, and I always forget his new shard is actually very good. The Latent Toxicity, which gives a stun and a bit of damage if you dispel. which is very interesting. It's a very interesting mechanic. It's like a toxicity. Very good. Yeah, 300 damage. Of course, pierces
Prepare
BKB
for battle.
or any other source of magic immunity. So that's pretty darn strong. Shotgun smoke action. Is this to be a Mars mid? Might even be a Tusk mid, actually. Maybe I was wrong. It's a Tusk mid? Then what? You're running... Who are your supports then? Monkey? No, he's definitely a core with his itemization. I guess they just like Fairy Fires. Yeah, seems like it. They just like Fairy Fires. Not too out of the ordinary to see supports carrying Fairy Fires, especially these that do really like to trade and harass a bit more in lane, utilizing their attack modifiers or their attack range and attack speed, like the Marana, to kind of bully their way through a lane.
To battle.
So that makes a good deal of sense. You've never seen your Venom stun do anything? I think it could be pretty good if because you can't dispel it is the thing. I mean, you can dispel it, but it'll just stun you. I think it's pretty good like versus Omni, versus a couple other heroes that would just like buy Manta and then be totally fine. I think it's quite
The
interesting.
battle begins.
No one fighting here for runes. They'll settle for 2 apiece. As we'll get underway, it is going to be mid lane Lena. Not too surprised there. Going up against the mid lane Mars. Okay, there it is. We did get that right in the end. Sorry for crazy camera. And I hope you guys don't mind the net graph there. I'll get rid of it if it's really bothering you. But I should... Where's transition the scene? There we go.
Don't burn your fingers.
Where's Avo at? Avo is missing. He'll be back soon. He's off to refill the bottle for the mid laner, I believe. There's a good God's Rebuke to secure the CS. It's only LSA. Okay, not denied at least for Ha, but not getting the CS doesn't feel too amazing either. You'd like to get this bottle up ASAP, of course, because eventually Mars is just going to become a sustained machine between his bottle and Soul Ring. So he can push you away from the runes. So it is important to make sure you can get your regen up a little bit earlier here and try and whittle him down sooner. Firestorm level 1. There's going to be a 2-man stun, also picking up the range creep. Nicely done from Trojan. I don't think they'll quite get the Jingu stack here. Look at 3. That'll force away the Tiny for a while. Not too bad. Good move, of course, from the Tiny, starting out with the Ring of Protection. I always have to call out those moves because it's just a really good idea. No first blood quite yet. This lane's pretty hard. I mean, I guess he's not too scared until there's at least arrow levels. As you can see, they just don't really have the burst damage to get through the Tiny. And now they know that there's no leap, by the way. Marana might just be dead here. They're not in range for a deny because that Trojan is looking perhaps for a return kill. Has the bonus damage now of Jingu level 1. But 1v2. I think he's not going to be winning that fight. And a little bit of a mistake there from RNG. Prodigy can always choose to jump over these shards with Earthshock, but does want to keep them for potentially aggressive initiations like this. We can see Maiden actually doing a lot of work here in this lane. Perhaps I've underestimated how much this wolf can do early. That being said, she is currently out of mana. Usually you take that second point in Frostbite. Yeah, and there it is. So she doesn't have a whole lot of mana to play with, and I'd be curious whether or not this lane also gets more difficult when you do have Snowball, and you can snowball the Eidolons onto the Maiden. We'll see, though. Still holding on to these 3 mangoes, so a bit more mana to play with. And even now, a couple more mangoes being shuttled out to her. She will unblock the camp. I believe she's blocked the hard camp. So there's been no creeps top lane for the first nearly 3 minutes of the game. And I suspect SOM is going to continue to extend that as he's going to body block this camp. There he is, standing inside of the triangle. Maiden's going to try and unblock her camp, but she attacks way too slow. Good effort.
Cold comfort.
Was that Maiden? Wow, that wolf is got a very different raspy voice. That wolf must smoke a couple packs of cigarettes or something. Prodigy hand, though, in trouble. Has Earthshock still and Ring of Health, so as long as he makes it out of here alive, and he does with that Earthshock, he'll be A-okay. Good job holding on to it. Now, Maiden, instead, is going to have to take a death. No Snowball, just tag team here with the Eidolons that did split, really doing the work. Not really much you could see one Maiden Frost Blast does there. My goodness, these Eidolons with the Flag Bearer creeps, pretty busted. That HP regen aura is very strong, as there's no bounty there to collect, and that's because Lina already made the rotation and refilled her bottle. Maiden has TP top, so there's no bottle refill currently available to Lina. That means she's going to have to fight for this rune. You can see the Tusk already lingering near the top rune area, as the LSA will connect. Ha is going to have to settle for a deny on the water rune, which doesn't feel nearly as good. But what does feel good is that you've actually just killed Monkey King underneath his own tower. Not really a lot Mirana can do at stopping a dive. And it seems like that was just a tree toss into plenty of lingering damage there from the Venomous Gale. Nicely done. Nicely done. I wonder what Ursa's going to turn this Ring of Health into, if it'll be Battle Fury or so this game. That's curious. Usually you only see that against the Illusion heroes. Good Ice Shards here. Just making sure that they don't get the pull through, as with the Kobold creeps, you can see that they really don't kill anything, especially with a Flag Bearer creep in the mix. Ooh, trying his best there to at least pull through a bit more effectively, but won't quite get it done. Really good Ice Shards there. Lina, looking to get aggressive. Has this bonus attack speed, but the early points here in Bulwark is going to do a lot of work, to be honest. That 40% damage reduction, even just 20% casually, along with these infused raindrops, means that Mars is going to be able to just quite literally face tank very effectively here. Does make Lina's landing stage a little bit more difficult. Is that how you say it? It's Kobold, right? Maiden in trouble. It's got a couple spells in a second here, but is getting chased down. I think, yeah, Enigma is not going to get dived underneath his tier 1. And oh no, Maiden. Oh no, the Eidolon split. I think she's okay. Cowbold? Well, Kobold. Kobold. K-O bold. Bold. Kobold. How is it Cowbold? Listen, I won't lie. I'm a big nerd. I DM for a D&D group, and I've always said Kobold. But I don't watch a lot of other media. I don't watch like Critical Role or any of that stuff. So maybe I am mispronouncing it. I'm totally down for that. I just didn't know it would be pronounced any differently, honestly.
The prize is mine.
They missed there on the Venomous Gale. Probably means that there won't be going diving here. You can see the Tusk being quite annoying on the minimap, rotating into the jungle of Lina, stealing yet another bottle refill. Yeah, it's Cobalt? Wait, they're bald? It's Kobold. Cabald? Okay, we know what Cabald might seem right. There's a black hole, by the way. Black King is going to be able to beat the Ursa to the level 6 quite easily, and no interrupt there. Stop the black hole, means they easily get the kill with the Eidolons pumping in the damage. One. He's going to get out of here just fine. I think I'm being trolled. I'm sorry. I'm being trolled. Kobold. Kobold. Cowbold? So it's like cow, like a cow that goes moo? Like Cowbold? Is that what you're telling me? I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
Middle tower is under attack.
I'm sorry. I don't believe you. Fuya's got his Urn of Shadows here, so it's really important that they don't start feeding deaths down bottom. Ko is in cone. Kobold. That's what I say! Cowball. It's Cowball. They're called Cowbalds now. How about that? Are you happy, chat? Maiden, maybe dead again. The rotation from Mara's top lane. He was probably hoping to find himself an Ursa warrior. He was going to be able to pick him up on the map, which enables him to very easily dive for the Maiden. And that's Maiden, who does have a TP scroll, will be able to make it back alive. But Maiden dead here for 5 more seconds as Mara's thinking about making a rotation into the jungle. Thinking better of it. Prodigy's playing this one a little bit too close for comfort. Kobold. No, it's not bald. There's no A in there. You can't fool me with this. And at 8 rune, we'll spawn bottom into the Invis rune, rather, into the bottle of the Selena. Careful though, Mars has Arena, very tanky boy here. He's got himself this chainmail already, so he's sitting at 10 armor. Lina, and by the way, 1200 HP with the Soul Ring. There's just absolutely no way Lina's gonna be able to get through him.
Dire's top tower is
Alright, we're done. We're done talking about neutral creeps for now.
Radiant's bottom tower
Time to move
is under
on.
attack.
Blink Dagger for Saddam here for the Enigma, so he's not going for an Aura Carrier. Aura Carrier, pardon me. Does really, really want to be... Oh, Cabal. You're saying Cabal. Oh, okay. I see that now. That's a very good explanation here. In trouble here. And maybe dead is tough, but he does buy a lot of space and time. Arena of Blood is only going to catch Fu Yao. He's got himself a Fairy Fire and a Wand, so he's a little tanky here, actually looking to turn and fight. And with teammates here, in fact, with all of his team around, including Ha, is actually the Tusk, so they will easily turn and get the kill. No. It's Golem. You can't. It's not Golem. I'm sorry. I refuse. You're just trolling me now. It's Golem. Chaotic Offering, Golem. Golem get you gone. Iron Golems. No way. We're done. We're done with this conversation. We're actually done. Because we need to focus on the Dota. Because some key item timings are going to be coming up soon. This Blink Dagger is nearly done for Enigma, and he's going to have this timing with Black Hole cooldown. With the aggression that RZ Esports are going to be looking to really display here, given that they know there's no Arena of Blood for a while. Well, maybe not anymore that their Maiden dies. They'll probably get back. This still could catch RZ Esports a bit off guard. There's a smoke here on the Tusk, but they might just go for it here. Onto the Lina. Blink Black Hole. No, not quite, in fact. He's going to just reveal it. Oh, sorry. It's not delivered on the courier yet. Pardon me.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Shut up. The only satire tormentor here is chat. How about that? It's Satyr Tormentor. I know that one. There they go. They're going to smoke him out with the Enigma behind the tier 1 tower. Maybe look to try and get in the jungle. They actually still have this ward up. And maybe can see Fu Yao farming around here. It's not the ideal jump, but this one would be real good. Lina. Oh, what a read. She's actually going to head towards the mid lane instead because the lane's pushing and she needs to defend it. So that means poor Fu Yao is going to have to eat this smoke gank. And there's 4 heroes coming his way. But very quite wisely, blacking. He's not going to break smoke. Doesn't really need to here. Still has this Blink Black Hole. Instead, they actually get through the Mars. I'm surprised he decides to play that aggressively, to be honest. Because if you looked at what was happening on the other side of the map, you know, his team was pushing. He was completely alone there. As soon as you see a lane, you already saw Maiden. As soon as you see the Lina, I do think it's a little bit of a mistake to continue being in the area there, because you know your team's only seen one person. Blacking, Blink. There he is. There's no avalanche for 10 more seconds here. No mana for the frostbite. Not like that would cancel it either. But not enough damage in the arena. A zoning arena. Ha actually still connecting the LSA stun onto the Enigma, and now they've got all the ultis, all the abilities back. 2 dead instantly. RZ Esports will clean up in the mid lane after they mess up the Black Hole and Mars combo.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures.
It'll be a tier 1 tower here, and literally no ultis to defend it. Monkey King is going for his Echo Saber into BKB route, so he's not going to be quite ready to fight. And oh, he's the courier. I thought
Radiant's middle tower
he
has fallen.
was AFK or something for a second. Lina, of course, going straight into the BKB helps a lot against the Mars. Doesn't really help so much against the annoying part against Mars, which is that when he does set up his arena, and when it is a little bit of a higher level, you know, 6-7 seconds. That is a long time where your projectiles are not going to be able to go through those arena walls. BKB, of course, doesn't change that. It just allows you to walk through the arena walls, which is sometimes a bit of an awkward engagement for Linas, or any other ranged hero for that matter.
Go for me.
So Fu Yao is actually going, right after the Urn of Shadows, he is going for the Aura Carrier build. I wonder what his next item will be after this. Maybe a Blink Dagger, maybe... I don't know if you want a Force Staff on a Veno. It doesn't sound like the worst thing, but Force Staff against a Mars, against an Enigma. It's really good versus Tusk, though. This could be a big death, by the way, for Trojan. See if they can actually scout him into these trees as we toggle on over to the vision, and yeah, he's immediately away. So he is A-okay. And here's another smoke play now. No Blink Dagger yet for the Mars. He's kind of fallen off a little bit, in fact. He's really fallen off, if I'm being honest. Doesn't have a lot of farm, has had a lot of difficulties here in the mid game, but this could be a big catch now as they look for Prodigy Han. Uh-oh. They will just barely catch him now as the Bear's actually going to turn around in a rage. They have support here as the supports are going to go ahead and try and pinch this gank in the butt, and they're actually doing a really good job of it. There's another toss into the freezing field and an easy kill. Prodigy on. He's not only going to get these Ancients, he's going to get a double kill onto a core. Make that even a mid laner. That's not what you wanted here. Mars really needs to find a way back into the game, and a potential kill there onto an Ursa surely could have been his way back into the game, but an extremely risky dive at that stage to have made. I believe, in my opinion, going for an arena here is like 10 times riskier than going for an arena here, even though it's like almost the same arena, just because they have so many towers they can reinforce to. You saw Venno close the door from behind, Maiden came from this direction, and Tiny connected from mid, and it just completely restricts your movement there. Tiny with another beautiful toss back. That was just easy, honestly, for Demoka Farm, or sorry, for RZ Esports as they defend their triangle. Really nicely done. With this kind of lineup, with the notable exception, of course, of the Monkey King, until you get your mobility items online, you have to just go through the terrain. And I think that's where your Maidens, your Tinies, your Vennos are going to fight exceptionally well, considering they all come with a plethora of AoE abilities that you're only going to set them up for if you're in a bit of more of a constricted area. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. You kill that Venomancer. I mean, he's still got his ulti off. You are still dead, by the way. Another double kill quite easily for Prodigy Han. Demoka Farm not looking too amazing here on this run of their qualifiers. I hate to say it. What's Battle Fury Ursa? Quite interestingly. Not only is Battle Fury Ursa the second richest hero in the game, behind Alina, by the way, which is very impressive. He's also getting lots of kills, 5, 1, and 2. The regen is really nice for Ursa, of course. This is a big reason why Ursa started going to Battle Fury, because it allows you to really just spam your Earthshock basically in every single camp quite freely here. And of course, you can just max and spam overpower. That's really probably the big one here with the Battle Fury. Still 800 gold here for the Blink Dagger. Tiny has his Blink Dagger already before the mid Mars does. Of course, Mars did go for a bottle, upgraded boots, and a soul ring. So he still has a little bit more net worth than the Tiny, but for how much longer here? Because Tiny is maybe looking to connect here on this play. Quite find the opening. And he is sitting literally right on top of a ward, so that's perhaps disaster averted here, courtesy of the Lina for Demoka Farm. Okay, a little bit of an opening there. You sneeze for 1 second, all of a sudden Tiny's dead. You can see now why Ha does not enjoy playing against Mars as much. Has BKB now for this engagement, by the way. Has something to fear as well with Snowball, Walrus Punch, Arena, and Black Hole all on cooldown. So she'll collect that kill very easily.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Wow, it's even going to be a straight Wraith Pact. This team's like already not doing any damage, and that Wraith Pact's going to hurt a whole lot. Wraith Pact does reduce spell types that are physical damage, so it will reduce Boundless Strike. I have no idea if it works on the Wukong's command soldiers. If there's anyone smarter in chat, please let me know. I have no idea how Wukong command works. I don't know if it's calculated as a spell damage, and therefore all the monkeys get reduced by Wraith Pact. I don't know if you can even target the Wraith Pact or the Wukong command army with Wraith Pact and other auras. I have no idea. I know you can't you know, alacrity them. So I would almost kind of assume that, you know, they're not affected by Wraith Pact, but I have no idea, honestly. I know all other physical spell type damage is reduced if it's onto a hero. Careful here, Mars. He's got his Blink Dagger, but there's the Tiny Blink Dagger. And a much better Blink reveal there for the Tiny. Second time around. Mars didn't quite get it right there on the spear back by the looks of things.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Game is starting to look really hard now for Demoka Farm. RZ Esports are
scanning.
kind of rolling around the map, doing whatever they please. Now, to be fair, we haven't really seen Trojan get involved in too many of these fights, if really any. 1-1 and 0 so far on the carry monkey. And he does have his Echo Saber, so his farm speed is starting to increase. But you can see now RZ Esports really starting to take objectives. And just not much Demoka Farm can really hope to do at this stage. I think he nuked the wave there mid at least, so he will continue to force back enemies. Well, yeah, the game's getting real
Dire's
hard.
middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
What's the cooldown on this? Yeah, I think the problem that I imagined was I thought like with 1 point in leap you'd be a little bit better off versus a Veno, but the cooldown on Venomous Gale is so short.
Radiant's
Level
top
1 is
tower
16
is
seconds. You
under
can
attack.
almost spam that twice a wave. So it just doesn't feel like I was very realistic in setting up my Mirana simply leaps away
Dire's bottom
every time
tower
she gets
is under
scaled
attack.
theory. Didn't really quite
Radiant's
work
top
out.
tower
And
is under attack.
already hitting towers. This is a little bit of a rarity. An Ursa hitting towers this early on, but such is the advantage that RZ Esports are
Radiant's
feeling in
top
this
tower
game that
has
they're going to go
fallen.
for it. Top lane, I almost got juked by the Monkey King's courier. As the LSA is not going to cut down his tree. They're going to keep chasing, though. Honey, Blink Dagger in 3 more seconds.
Dire's
We have no
bottom
idea where
tower
he's
is
gone,
under
and now I
attack.
believe he's a little bit too far away. May cut one more wave in the mid lane. We shall see. He's going to show up on an enemy
Radiant
ward
are
now.
scanning.
And that's going to trigger a Moonlight Shadow out from Radiant's side as they look to close the door here now onto 2. Foyao might be the target here, but they're going to go for the Maiden first as they're going to commit now even the Arena of Blood. No, are they actually not going to kill no one? He pops a wand, freezing field. They kill the Monkey King. No one's going to drop, but at a much favorable trade there for RZ Esports as they lose the Mars and the Monkey King. BKB now for the Lina. There's a black hole, but absolutely no damage and no time here for Enigma to cast it. I think this is just going to be 4 dead by the looks of things. Alright, so yeah, not going to last a second longer. And that is the Maiden making a fantastic play. Mars deciding to throw a couple more spells there towards the Venomancer. I thought they should have just picked off the Maiden and called it a day, and instead it turned into 4 dead. Enemies on your high ground. Barbarians at the gates. Am I right, guys? Against this Roman... Alright, I'll stop.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's
There you go there.
top tower has fallen.
Venom's already used his ulti, and there is no follow-up here.
Radiant's
Wukong's command did get used there, unfortunately, for the Monkey King, so he's got really no good chance. Oh, and he went Desolate. Okay, that's bold. I would have thought a BKB would have been the move here that he had queued up initially. The Trojan decides not. The Rome is collapsing. There's barbarians at the gates.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
I have no idea. Oh, black hole does catch the Ursa. I'm not sure why they decided to black hole him because he had an Aegis. That baits in the Mars. He is 100% dead, whether he's Greek or Roman. He's going to go see Hades or whoever the equivalent of Hades is in, I believe, Roman mythology.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
I do really appreciate how the Romans were like, hey, Greeks, can I borrow your homework? And the Greeks were like, sure, just don't make it obvious. And they just changed all the names. It's pretty, honestly, it's kind of a baller move.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pluto?
Radiant's
Thank you very
middle
much.
tower has fallen.
I didn't know that they discovered
Dire's
Pluto all the way
bottom
back
tower is
then.
under attack.
Or was the planet
Radiant's
named after
middle
the
barracks are
Roman
under
god?
attack.
Because I would have thought they needed, like,
Radiant's middle
actually good
barracks
optics to
has
see
fallen.
Pluto. Even though it's not a planet anymore. Enigma's dead again, by the way. Didn't have black hole, just kind of caught out. This game is very over, but we'll see what this Monkey King can do. He's actually trapped himself on the wrong side of the trees, quite unfortunately. Maybe it was a zoning ultimate. They actually will get the Aegis at least out from the Ursa Warrior, and they'll lose the Venomancer in the meantime. Planet is named after the god. Things in sky are named after gods, not the other way around. Wait, what did I say? Things in the sky are named after the gods. Yeah, right? Of course.
Gold and
No, Pluto can't be a planet right now. You guys are trolling me.
rocks.
Come on now. It's part of like another belt. They think there's another belt out there, don't they? Like there's a belt between Earth and Mars or something like that. Or Mars and my very excellent mother and Jupiter? What? What is the 5th planet out from the solar system? Is it Jupiter? My very excellent mother just ordered us 9 pizzas, isn't it? I think it is Jupiter. Careful here. There's a Silver Edge. Monkey King jumps away in time because they were actually trying to bait the Lina, but she still has BKB, so there's just no chance that they can reasonably turn here. Yeah, there's a belt of asteroids between the inner and outer planets, and they think, last time I looked into this, which to be fair was like 3 years ago when Pluto kept changing, you know, planet status, just like one of our friends. You know, we all have that one friend that changes their relationship status every other week. It was like that with Pluto, and you know, we just can't keep up with that. We have more important things to focus on, like this team fight. Mars is going to get cut out. Another excellent blink toss back from the Tiny. It's going to make this thing a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I believe Pluto's been dethroned. Pluto's lost their planet status. They're no longer invited to the planet ball. Okay, that's an ultimate. Couple of tips onto Fuyao. Mostly, and in fact, all of them from his team. He mispresses a button. I think maybe his Pipe of Insight key close to his ultimate key. They're going to go for a toss back on the Enigma. Does not have Black Hole for another 30 seconds. Dead for a 70, however, as the Wukong's command is out. Freezing Field doing some work here, though. He's going to be zoning away the rest of the Demoka Farm as they attempt to salvage this game and defend their last lane of Barracks, but they've already lost the Monkey. They've lost the Enigma. Down goes, not quite the Walrus, not yet. There he goes, finally, as the Wolf dies now. So many animals in Dota now. They're just trapped in their fountain, though. So long as they're careful not to get speared back. No, they already called it. GG, well played. Unfortunately, this time around, Demoka Farm are not going to be joining us in the closed qualifiers for the Winter Tour. Esports, though, they continue. Move on into the next round. Very well played for them. Okay, Seth. Very funny comment. Very funny comment. But a fairly one-sided game, I think, from RZ Esports. Demoka Farm kind of just messed up on their timings. This Mars never really got online, to be honest. It never felt like. And Monkey King went for a very greedy build. I don't know if BKB changes much this game. I have to be honest. So I admire the decision to go for a Desolator just so he can try and burst some of these squishy heroes like the Maiden. Tiny's quite burstable when you get through his armor. Venomancer also quite burstable. Maybe if you can connect on a arrow that's been set up by a Boundless Strike, you can probably kill Lina with that. So like these are moves that I understand that I think would have gotten them back into the game if they could just find a fight. They just really didn't, unfortunately, from Demoka Farm. And RZ Esports, they defended almost every single aggressive maneuver. They just parried it away very easily. So nice job. Really good game from RZ Esports. As they will continue on. Their next opponent, I believe they have an opponent. Let me go ahead and pull up the bracket here for us after I refresh it. And here's our bracket. Their next match is going to be Unleashed. I actually haven't gotten a chance to see Unleashed at all this tournament, and I do apologize for that. But I do want to actually catch this Atomic Esports versus what might be Zen Esports, what might be New World Esports. I'm not sure what that match is going to be. Look, guys, it's the Kobolds. Apparently is how you say it now. They're going to be facing off versus Renewal. We'll see what they want to go for. New World versus Zen. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can jump into this game. It's still live. Very good. So that's slight spoilers. The Zen Esports versus... Sorry, make that... which match is this? Yes, this is New World versus Zen Esports match. It's actually... I could join. So we know this match doesn't end in the next 15 minutes, and therefore it must be a good game. Let's go ahead and try and get caught up here. What's going on right now? Items, we have double BKBs for Mars and the... Oh, triple, actually. Pope as well as a BKB. Okay, so New World looks really strong right now. Despite being down 11k, they have this triple BKB timing against only one BKB here on the Doom. So they are playing into a Doom. That is one thing to consider. Is this Riki support, by the way? No, it's a Riki core. See what is going to happen here to make the jump. Maybe can they Doom? Yeah, they will. Onto the Shadow Fiend. The swap is unfortunately way too late, so that's 2 dead already on New World. Enemy lines, though? Yeah, the Maiden even managed to avoid death, and they don't time the Mars BKB TPOA in time. So they lose 3. This game really goes on for an extra 15 minutes. Sorry to say that, but I was trying to hype up New World, considering that they were down, well, fairly far. And unfortunately, they kind of flubbed that fight. I thought they would have gotten a little bit more out of that one. Okay, so Mercury is the Roman version of Greek Hermes. That makes sense because he's the fastest planet. Venus is Aphrodite. Why is Aphrodite or slash Venus? Why is it the second planet? I don't quite understand that.
Radiant's
Mars, of
middle
course,
tower
is
is under
the god of war or Ares because the planet is red thanks to like its dust on the planet has some iron or something, and also there's water there. I don't know. This would be a sick jump actually if they can catch Ember. We'll see. Watching it from his perspective, he does. Yeah, unfortunately, somehow he saw Hoodwink there.
Is under attack.
What else? Saturn, Jupiter is Zeus. I knew that one because it's the jovial planet. I don't know why they thought it was jovial. I just know it is jovial. Very jovial. Saturn is Cronus. Interesting. Is that because he has a ring? Because what? Saturn is like, he's one of the Titans. Didn't he eat all his children, probably? Is that the one? Is he the one that got his nether regions lopped off and then he gave birth to Aphrodite? Or am I thinking... Might be thinking of the wrong one. Uranus is also a Titan, I believe. Neptune is Poseidon because he's blue, and Pluto is Hades. That one's retconned in. There's no way that they would have discovered Pluto all the way back then. There's no way. No way. Okay, another smoke play here from New World. They still have a chance, a really good chance at that. So unfortunately, they get baited there by a Riki illusion, so that'll be that smoke breaking and not finding anything. Riki's got BKB now, though, so that's a bit scary. And they're about to have Aether Lens on this Doom alongside this Shiva's Midas, so he has got a lot of money. Trying to burst the Maiden. Unfortunately, things have gone wrong here. Excellent swap out. Does at least allow the Mars to escape at the cost of Vengeful Spirit, but they're in now. That's a pretty darn good Requiem of Souls. They've got 2 down. Oh, and Riki, he's not living too long here either. Does get a Blink Strike away. Ember giving chase here. Second Remnant committed. He doesn't have detection, though. So he's going to have to settle here for the Hoodwink. Down she goes. I don't think you can actually sleight a fist invisible enemies, but that was maybe really close to getting Riki. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto were named after they were discovered much, much later. That makes sense. So the farthest that the ancients, I guess it's only like 3,000 years ago, which is pretty far away, to be honest. Farthest they could see was Saturn. Interesting. Yeah, that is really interesting. So I guess they would have... But why does that make him the Titan if he's the farthest away? It has to be because of the ring. Maybe they could see the ring back then. I don't know. I do enjoy stargazing quite a bit in my free time. And we're paused, by the way, hence why I'm going to go so far off topic and indulge this conversation. But I've always grown up in quite urban areas. You know, I live in KL now, right in smack dab in the middle of KL. So there's absolutely no chance for me to see stars. And I grew up basically near Chicago, and there's way too much light pollution there to see anything at night, except for pretty much just Orion's Belt. I'm not real big into the astrology stuff, you know, even though Mercury is in retrograde, guys, so just be careful. That was a joke. But I do really like looking at the stars. And it's always really interesting when you go and see stars and you're like, that's a really bright star. What is it? And then it's like Jupiter or something. You can just like see them with your eyes. Pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. All right. Well, so after that fight, actually, let's see. Roche is up in 2 minutes, which is too long to really take advantage of that fight win. But that was a nice initiation from Popo. Full silver edge here. Galileo discovered the rings of Saturn, actually. The ancients thought the planets were perfect spheres. Idiots. They're obviously all flat. That's a joke, by the way. Probably need to rein it in. This is technically an official DPC broadcast. Just drive like an hour down 57 south of Chicago, all the stars everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you're technically true, but like the thing is, I did go actually 2 hours down 57 when I attended the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I just didn't have a car, so I couldn't really get out of that, you know, college town. I would have loved to. You're absolutely right. Illinois actually does have a dark sky forest, is what they're called, because the light pollution is so little that you can see a lot of stars at night. And I really wanted to go, but just haven't really... Too busy playing Dota, I'm being honest with you. But maybe one day I'll go, actually. Maybe one day. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 57, though, you once you get past Bourbonnais, you can just go like 100 miles an hour there. You really can just drive. Dota's more fun anyway. That's true. That's true. Many of the planets are in Dota. Very true. Here, come on, guys. We need more copium, please. What are other reasons we don't need to touch grass? You can play Dota 24/7, but you can only see the stars for like 6 hours. Ding. Here we go. We're getting back to the game now.
You two, follow me!
Dire are scanning.
Okay, so still a really big teamfight win for New World, right? Like, let's not get too
Dire's
distracted
bottom
here,
tower is under
because the game is
attack.
actually fairly close. Like, this 13 kind of word lead, it's a lot of this is on Doom, and I don't know, until he gets Refresher or maybe like a Sheepstick, I just don't see this net worth being completely equivalent. That being said, what is that? That's still so half of this net worth lead you see is on Doom, which is gonna give him more uptime in fights, basically. No, sorry, we're only doing one stream for the for the open qualifiers. Sorry about that, Zaya. We won't be able to cover all the matches. Careful here. It's a big catch on the Doom. They actually have managed to skewer him as well. No Requiem, though, to continue the fear. And now he makes another jump in. Will commit the Doom onto Mars. He's doomed himself, though. Nice last-second Lotus Orb. That frees up the Ember Spirit, but he's trapped actually inside the smoke screen. Oh, BKB was like 2 seconds away. It just came off cooldown. Really unlucky. Great play there by Zen Esports to bait in the Ember. As Mars gets off his arena, still alive here actually, after he was doomed as Popo with the Requiem now ready. He's going to catch plenty of heroes. 2 more dead here likely in the arena as Riki makes another jump on in. Still has his own BKB, trying to burst through the Mars here as there's going to be the Hunter's Boomerang. Should have been able to kill there fairly easily. They've caught the SF in the Roche Pit, tied him up to a tree, and he is down for the count. 4 dead here on the side of New World. Zen Esports will take that extended fight here quite handily. And you can see, like, what I mean. This Octarine Core is a pretty darn good item here on Doom, because he's only got 30 seconds left till his next Doom, which is incredible. Incredible. So he'll be ready to fight basically by the time that everyone else is alive, and there still won't be a Requiem of Souls. There still maybe won't even, well, there'll be a BKB by then. Let's not be too dramatic. So now this game's looking real hard for me.
Radiant are scanning.
Aether Lens on this Venge. We got any 4 staffs here, guys? 4 staffs, yeah, we got one. Marana's got her 4, so that's pretty good. Problem is, 4 staff against Ember, or with the Ember on your team, with a Mars on your team, sometimes it just doesn't feel that great because they're always out of range anyway. So Ember does have to play a little bit more tightly around his BKB timing, considering how bad Smokescreen can get on. And then everyone else, almost everyone else has a stun or some way to otherwise completely render
Dire's
Ember Spirit
bottom
useless.
tower is under
Where's
attack.
Avo? Avo's still missing. Let me check this one. Yeah, he's still missing. We'll see when he gets around. Hopefully soon. Sorry about that, guys. False advertising. You're stuck with me. It's a glass half full or glass half empty situation there for sure.
Yes.
In any case, since we're going to be talking about the planets more, and because there is a Mars in this game, let me tell you a little bit about a musical suite called The Planets. It was written around World War I by this guy named Holst. That's Holst. I have no idea where he was from. Sounds a little bit German, but I can't be sure. Maybe he was American. I have no idea. But he wrote He didn't write for every single planet, actually. I think he started at Mars and then stopped before Jupiter. Or stopped before Pluto, I believe. And it's real good. I highly recommend you listen to Mars, the Ringer of War. It's written in 5/4 time, which is actually the theme, the little song that plays whenever Arena of Blood is cast. That's actually from the music. That's the main theme, basically, if you would call it, from Holst the Planets. English composer Gustav Holst. Thank you very much. I knew he was Western. He had to have been Western. And basically, it's really cool. If you give this a listen, you basically hear the Star Wars Imperial March in it. So it's inspired a lot of modern, especially sci-fi music these days. I highly recommend Mars, the Bringer of War, and also Jupiter. I forgot what that's called, but it's like a little fun and festive one. Mercury's also really good. I agree, Grade Curve, but I think like intro to classical music, Jupiter and Mars, I think, are definitely the two to get you pulled in. But it's really amazing if you live in a city that has like an orchestra, like a professional full-time orchestra, and you ever see that they're playing this this composition, highly recommend you buy tickets. It is really, really, really quite good. There's a ward here, by the way, Venge. They do see you. Nice cast there on the magic missile as the will at least remove eyes. That means they see Riki here, but they're looking to try and get the Venge. Good force staff away, but she is just going to barely take down, unfortunately. Nice fought back, though. This second Roche is quite crucial here. Could very well get New World back into the game, especially if they get a good team fight win after this. Problem is, of course, Fufu Fire is going to be pushing the bottom lane, because there he goes, ulting on in. They've maybe caught the SF. BKB's popped all around now. Fantastic Arena of Blood. There's going to be Record with Souls. They've deleted the Maiden and Hoodwink, both down for the count, but SF as well, dropped by the Riki, who's released into this fight now that BKBs have ended. Ember Spirit caught here. He's going to be jumped. Another smoke screen. They need some way to get him out, but there's no force staff from the Mirana up on the high ground. That makes 3 dead. Mara's completely out of gas here and out of life, as Rin godlike now with that double kill in the engagement. That Basher doing a lot of work in this engagement. Really, really good fight here from Zen Esports, and now game feels really impossible in the world. Yeah, unfortunately, that's about all the astronomy I know, to be quite honest. When's Haley's Comet coming around again? Are any of us going to be alive by the time that comes back? Mars and Dota makes a ton of references to whole space. I didn't know that, actually. Obviously, the song's a very obvious one. And of course, whenever he dances, he also dances in 5-4, which is why it does look a little funny. Because 5-4 is very unnatural for us humans. We like things in 3-3, 3-6, or 4-4. That's all. We don't like 5-4. It's very awkward. I didn't know. I don't play a lot of Mars, so I don't hear a lot of his voice lines. I'll have to give him a listen, though. Doom is getting pretty bonkers now, too. He's actually going for Arcane Blink. Not a bad choice at all, because the cast animation on Doom is very painful. I think probably some of the better Embers that don't have slow hands like myself will be able to avoid Doom's just in the cast animation, basically. 6-9 is nice. Very nice. Very nice. I've actually never played a piece in 6-9. I played in 7-8. 7-8's pretty fun to play. I played violin for like 12 years. In a previous life, and conducted just a little bit. Nice effort there, by the way, on the bushwhack. That was a really good effort. Oh, he's got a AoE boost now, by the way.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, 7-8 was a lot of fun. I don't remember what I played in 7-8, but usually I played 7-8 in some time signature that was really slow. It was like very, very slow. We were playing like 30-second notes. That was the only time I've ever played 30-second notes in my life. Very, very fast. Okay, sorry. Slightly a little bit too off topic here. These fights are just really hard. I don't think it's impossible for New World to get back into this game. That's not a bad jump either there. They immediately delete Maiden. Zen Esports not totally eager to jump in. Wait, Mars is Dawnbreaker's husband? I did not know that. Actually, may find the Dawnbreaker here. Very close to 25 here already. DD Rune in the bottle. 18 stacks on the Desolator. That makes 2 Bashers. This is basically 3 cores. That's a really big problem that New World are fighting into at this stage. Oh, okay. Well, you baited me. At least you didn't bait me for long. That certainly would be a power couple, though. Very much like the Elementals in Dota. Those got so many nice interactions in it. Really appreciate all the cute little voice lines and interactions they do, even between like Puck and Wisp. Puck and Wisp have some of my favorite interactions in Dota, because I think Puck is the only other hero that can understand Wisp, unless like Phoenix also understands him, and maybe, I don't know. Perhaps Marcy does as well. A little bit hard to tell there. Lots of good interactions and voice lines for sure. Which is more a reference to Eos than to Aphrodite. I can't say I know who that is. Aether is in the game. It's Aether Lens. Aether is I think it's a Titan, or whatever above Titan is in Greek mythology, perhaps. Aether is just like the sunlight, like that kind of like the sky when it turns red. That's Aether. Okay, this is a huge opening for New World. If they can actually burst these heroes, they need to get through the Doom, and they have. Riki got the BKB off, and he just had to abandon him. And honestly, Fufu Fire a bit late there on the Solar Guardian might have been able to change things. Fight, though, is maybe still ready to turn, given that Zen Esports had picked up both supports. Maiden's bought back now. They're going to try and force Zephyr up to the high ground, but she doesn't make it there with the shard active. Now Rin fighting versus the Mars. Sleep Dart there, canceling the TP. The Basher as well, honestly, so no way he was making it out alive. Still not a bad trade for New World, especially considering they are fighting into this Aegis on Ariki. Puck says something along the lines to Wisp, like, oh, Wisp, your humor is wasted on these mortals, I believe. Which implies that, of course, Puck can understand Wisp, and that Wisp is probably roasting everyone when he beeps and boops at you. It's very funny. What is this going to be, this point booster? Is this Ags? What are you building here? It is Ags! What? He's going pocket Riki. Maybe he gets a kill here, because there's no BKB on SF, so he'd be in some trouble. They're trying to fight this. Bushwhack, great swap. Fantastic swap out there by the Vengeful Spirit. It will mean she dies for this, but maybe they actually, and yes, they will get this Riki's Aegis removed. Where did his Ags? Who is buying the Ags? Did I click on the wrong hero? No, it is. It is Riki's. Beatrice says that Phoenix is a shrewd salesman. I'm sorry, but I don't know all the heroes off of their first name. Who is Beatrice? Who is Beatrice? Is that Hoodwink? Is Hoodwink's name Beatrice? Riki's Ags is pretty great without the pocketing. Oh, Snapfire. Okay. Increases cast range, number of attacks, and allows you to target an allied hero. Yeah, I guess that's true. Cast range increase. It increases your attacks. I'm not sure by how many. Unfortunately, it doesn't really say here. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Don't play a lot of Riki.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong one. My bad. 4 attacks. So it gives you 1 extra attack, which is pretty big, honestly, for sure. And increases the cast range, I'm sure, by a ton.
Dire's top
Yeah.
tower
All right. That's not bad at all. Oh, who have they caught here? Oh, just a Morana. So, not the biggest catch there, as unfortunately her activating Ghost Scepter allows Hoodwink to pretty much one-shot her.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Aeon Disc fervently being built up here by the Maiden. Each attack hits 2 people, so it's potentially up to 10 hits. It does say random enemy units. It would be nice if it specified, but I agree. I'm not sure exactly. Can you travel with Dawnbreaker by using Tricks of the Trade on her? I imagine yes. I believe for those of us that were with us, I think 2 days ago when I was casting with, maybe 3 days ago, something like that. All the days blend together when we cast some Magnificent Dota. We were talking about a Snapfire interaction with Spectre, where if you toss a cookie at Spectre and then she haunts the realities to a different target, the cookie will chase her across the map. I can't imagine Riki would stay behind. If the kisses go with, or sorry, if the cookie follows, I imagine Riki would too. I'm not sure if that's the best usage of it, at least until you get your Dawnbreaker Ags, because then you can cancel it a bit earlier, I believe. Yeah, to land early. So maybe with Dawnbreaker Ags, it'd be a bit stronger. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a Dawnbreaker Ags this game. I think the Abyssal, like, it's not bad. It is a little greedy, it feels like, but given that you have a Doom who might have been your carry, it does make a good degree of sense, to be honest. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. So I can't be too critical. Overwhelming Blink, sure. Yeah, I do really think, especially because she's still, she being the Dawnbreaker, still playing the Dawnbreaker as you'd expect the Dawnbreaker to play, farming away from the team, waiting to use the ulti to go in. I really wouldn't mind an Ag Scepter here. A 60% miss rate is significant. SF is doing tons of damage per hit, not to mention your team is very squishy, with the exception of Doom. I really wouldn't mind the Ag Scepter. I respect this item build as well, but yeah, I think Ags is really good on this hero, even as a core.
A welcome boost.
We're 3 minutes in though, a 30k net worth lead here for Zen Esports.
Dire are scanning.
I believe Zen Esports, another team that's made it pretty far here. Careful here, Winter. Winter. very dead. Nice job there.
Right in the eye.
Easily picking off the Marana. Control more than sufficient. There's a Shadow Fiend going hunting, but not really going to be able to find too much here. Hoping for a rune, and we'll find one. Haste rune here. We'll see who decides to go with it. Zen Esports, who snuck underneath their own ward in the Radiance Triangle. They're going to run actually into all 3 cores right next to each other. That's the Dream. The Self-Doom on the way into the Ember Spirit. He's down for the count. Mars as well can't even make it out alive.
They got a bargain when they hired me.
So you can hear that little ending shrill of the main theme of Mars, Bringer of War.
I didn't see that.
Do I know what the lanes were for Dire? Regrettably, I don't. I don't. If I had to guess, it was a Doom carry, at least Doom safe lane, with a Riki mid and a Dawnbreaker off lane. That's a big kill as well. Vengeful Spirit without buyback. This could be it, to be honest.
Are fortified.
Is he the Old Winter?
Dire's
No, this is not the Old
structures
Winter.
are fortified.
Nor my
Dire's
Cat
bottom
Winter.
tower is under attack.
There's actually another Winter. There's another Winter, I believe, on Neon
Radiant's middle
Esports,
tower is under
who is their
attack.
mid laner, who is a very good Invoker player. So lots of Winters coming on in.
Dire's bottom tower has
We got
fallen.
Winter, Winter
Radiant
Goda,
structures are fortified.
PCM equals BHM.
Radiant's
I
top
think
tower
so.
is under attack.
Best something mid. Best
Radiant's
house
middle
mid.
barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle
Yes,
barracks.
lots of
Radiant's
Winters
middle
are coming.
barracks has fallen.
Indeed. Undoubtedly.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think this one's over, though. I mean, it kind of has to be. 40 gamer
Radiant's
lead.
top tower has
New Worlds,
fallen.
I respect the hell out of them. This is very much so their last chance to get through to the closed qualifiers. Unfortunately, now staring down a 41k net worth lead, and very likely Zen Esports are going to hang back and just wait for Roche. It's not looking easy. Neon Disc now coming up online for these crucial heroes. Dawnbreaker now very tanky, approaching 4,000 HP with a 3.4 strength gain. BKB over 1 blink. A little bit of strength here to be gained as well from the Abyssal Blade. What do you get it from? Basher? Doesn't Basher have a little bit of a strength component? Oh, I've spilled my coffee. Give me a moment.
Vanish. This'll come in handy.
Right. Sorry about that.
Death's bounty.
The good news is that my mouse pad is going to smell really nice until I wash it. Luckily, it's black anyway,
Speed
so
my return.
not the first time I've done this one. Somehow I spilled my mug when I was going to check the components for this, which does give you some strength. Yeah, ought to be all that. All right. Not a bad effort here to try and fight around this Roche for New Worlds. Only down a mid lane of barracks, but the Riki already in. Self-Doom as well. They're onto the Ember Spirit. A swap out, though, might be enough to save the day. But they're chasing down the Ember. He gets off a Remnant. At least that means he can return to the fight. But now the SF, they're just being taken down one by one. Abyssal Blade number 2 there out from Rin as Popo trying to fight through it, but hopeless as he has not enough lifesteal. Only Ember now and Vengeful Spirit alive because they bump back. Mars dies somewhere in that engagement. As the TP away is going to be successful. Didn't really, probably not going to be able to Ogre Smash him there considering it's a 3-second cast time. And that almost has to be, I mean, I feel like I've said it now. I really don't see any way back into this game unless Zen Esports all die in Fountain like twice. Game is going to be played out slowly. You have to give respect, though, to New World. Can't be a fun game to be playing at this stage of the game. And, of course, they're just playing for a miracle now. But it is their last chance to get through to the closed qualifiers. So nothing but respect here for New World for playing this one out. Very well played to Zen Esports, though, overall. With their fight execution, their itemization, they continue to scale very nicely into the late game. And continue to pick up more and more items, which just about make this game feel more and more impossible, to be honest, for New World. You think mid was Doom? That would make a lot of sense. I just think it was Dawnbreaker off and yeah, probably Riki carry with Manta, I imagine. Wonder if does he still have Diffusal? Yeah, he does. Okay. Yeah, I
Radiant's
agree with
top
you, Rio.
barracks
Dyer
are under
probably could have
attack.
ended this earlier, but the thing is for them, they're playing in a best of one
Radiant's top
in the
barracks has
final
fallen.
round of open qualifiers. You simply don't take chances. You know what I mean? Like, why?
Radiant's
Why
top
take chances?
barracks
You're gonna
has
play another
fallen.
game of Dota after this anyway. You might as well just be disciplined and close this one out. Sure, it's slow, but it's the way it is. You want to win. I don't think they're necessarily making a mistake. Sure, Ember Spirit will continue to scale, but he's just so far behind at this stage that it's not really that big of a concern. There they go, looking for the AoE Doom. They will find it. Good Core Staff away as the Solar Guardians get now the Dawnbreaker into the fight. But not a bad initiation here for New World. We'll see what more they can get out of this. Likely at least a Maiden as she will fall. I think that was a Refresher Shard used. Indeed it was. Doom has another Doom ready to go. And BKB, etc., etc. Arrow going fishing is going to not see anyone. They have to be careful though. They used up pretty much all their utility here on the first go around.
Dire are scanning.
This is probably not on Liquipedia because they normally only do up to the round of 16, which is the next round. However, I've mistyped actually. I've now just correctly typed bracket in the chat. Feel free to click on that
Dyer's
link and you can take a
courier
look
has
at
been
the
killed.
bracket and the team rosters
Radiant's bottom
on the
tower
Equals
is under
website.
attack.
Up there. Good spear back. Riki, of course, with Aegis. Mars is dead. Killed through the BKB as Popo with a good Requiem of Souls. They will be able to get Riki's first life. They need a little bit more off of that, as they have actually gotten the Maiden. More is there to get, though. Continue to force them back. Oh, a great swap. That's an easy kill. Should be at least onto the Hoodwink without an Aeon Disc. Force Staff forward, and a second. Now Magic Missile collects the kill. Dawnbreaker even taken down. So Zen Esports, pardon the burp, having a bit of difficulties there finishing off this game. And while we're still plugging some things, you can also watch this stream on YouTube. We should have encoding options available through the settings menu in case that 1080 60 FPS is a little bit too much bandwidth for you. Feel free to lower the settings down to whatever you please. Or if you'd like, because I know sometimes YouTube works a bit better in certain parts of the world, we have a YouTube stream as well. You can catch us live there, and shout out to the people watching us on YouTube by typing in the Twitch chat, !YouTube, and you'll get links there. We'll be broadcasting across a multiple amount of regions for the DPC season, so make sure you guys give us a follow on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live for some more DPC Dota. Closed qualifiers start in 2 days on the 19th, so we'll be back to a much more formal setting then. We'll be covering every single match. They start at 10 a.m. SGT, and the first 2 days are going to be packed with Dota. Make sure you guys tune in then. And again, drop us a follow, because we'll be your home of DPC for the Southeast Asian region for this year. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You're enjoying the coverage.
Shadows, take us.
The play being made here by New World. Not out of it yet. Not out of it yet. And again, you got to respect this amount of play. Zen
Dire
Esports will be a
are
bit on the
scanning.
back foot here. The arrow going fishing. Probably wouldn't have scouted that Riki. But careful here. Who if they caught? A Maiden. And is procced. Oh, BKB in time, though. Forces the BKBs of the enemy cores. Doom trying to get in there, though. A bit too slow on the self-Doom or whatever else he wanted to do. The New World, they are still set to lose themselves at least one hero, as the Solar Guardian is silent for some reason. Down goes the Liverana. She's down for the count. Ooh, and they fed a gem. That hurts a little bit. That does hurt. So a little bit of an administrative update. This was tweeted by the ePulse Twitter account, which I also, guys, while I'm still plugging, I would recommend you follow. You can scroll down underneath the Twitch stream here and get linked to the Twitter, or it's twitter.com/ePulseGaming. Team M11, unfortunately, the winners, I think they were the 4th seed. Team M11, the winners of qualifiers number 2, have been disqualified. The reason is they did not register their entire roster on the official Dota 2 roster's website, so unfortunately they are not an eligible stack to play. For that reason, Lilgun, who was the follow-up team, did get a pass into the qualifiers. So Lilgun is through to closed qualifiers. So we'll be seeing them more in the closed qualifiers. And yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for sure, guys. Yeah, it's a shame for sure. It sucks to have to eliminate teams for kind of paperwork reasons, but rules are rules, and we do need to have those. Those things are set by Valve for a very good reason. Those roster deadlines. It's ultimately for the best for the players. Unfortunate, of course, that not everyone got the memo in time. Yeah. So we are going to be proceeding on with Lil Gun. So that's why Lil Gun actually not playing. I was also very surprised not to see them in qualifiers number 3, but I believe they probably had that information a bit earlier than I, merely a caster, had that information. The closed qualifier page is up on Wikipedia, and you guys can check that out if you wish, and you can see the teams that are getting seeded in. After the conclusion of this match, I'll go ahead and explain a little bit more about the seeding, just so everyone has a bit of an idea there, because I know that's also a pretty big question that people have. We'll go ahead and cover that here in just a little bit. Now, Zen Esports, they do have to really find a way to finish off this match. I mean, respectfully, against stronger opponents, even opponents that you might face later on in these open qualifiers, or if you make it into the closed qualifiers, they will eventually be able to, you know, force their way back into this game. This is many mistakes being made over and over again. That being said, you've given yourself a lineup that can scale and have scaled, so it's not the biggest concern. But Zen Esports, they ought to get a move on here. Oh, there it is. The maiden builds online. BKB, Shard, and Freezing Field with the Bongo Boots means that she moves with an uninhibited move speed, which is very fast, with her Freezing Field active. Very strong ability, especially because her BKB, well, only 6 seconds, but long enough. Why did Lil Gun get the spot? Lil Gun got the spot because they were the follow-up team. They placed 3rd as they lost to Team M11. Uh-oh, in trouble. Getting the swap out at the very least is going to be the SF. He's going to make it out alive. They're going to try and turn back for the Vengeful Spirit, but actually, they do have detection. She's down. Dead for 100, and regrettably, they've also killed her Ag Scepter follow-up. That's bad, because Doom also has, now with Refresher, a second Doom ready to go, and this time around, there will not be a Vengeful Spirit to save the SF. And there they go again. They've already deleted 1. The Doom catching 2. Requiem of Souls not doing a damn thing here. And that'll be it. Zen Esports, they take down 4. Will go Fountain Dive in here for Popo, almost certainly, because he refuses to throw in the towel. This game, all but over now, is Zen Esports focusing on to the Tier 4 towers.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And this should be that. Really not throwing in the towel. There he goes. He's got buyback. Yeah, he's going to, of course, go for it. True Sight on the deck. The Tier 4 towers being focused on by the creeps and the heroes alike. They make another jump, I think even without detection here, and GG is finally called. Well played to New World. High amounts of respect for really giving it everything they got. Did kind of force Zen Esports to get it done correctly, the right way, but Zen Esports will eventually get the job done. And they move on to the next round, where they will be playing Atomic Esports. So I am very excited for that match. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about seeding, shall we? Because that is a little bit of a question mark to a couple of people in the chat. So I'll go ahead and catch you guys up with what's going on there. Give me a second. We are looking at this one, and I will have to... Yeah, sure, that works. I'm just using the Wikipedia bracket for now. It is going to be a double elimination 8-team bracket. And the way it works is that these teams who Drinkwater's seeded number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to figure out 7 and 8 tomorrow when we wrap up our final round of open qualifiers. But what that means is that, as in most other brackets, if you guys have ever made a bracket or looked at brackets before, this first round is going to have seed number 1 versus seed number 8, and then usually it goes 3 and 6, and then, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean. It's 1 and 7, and then it's, 1 and 8, 2 and 7, so then it's 3 and 6, and then 4 and 5. So we already kind of know some of the matches, as Neon Esports, for example, should be playing Spawn Team, and Sky and Core Esports should be playing the Yangon Galacticos. But we don't know the first round matchup for Lil Gun and Drinkwater. These are the official rules per Valve, which is why this year we are playing out the Grand Finals match in order to determine what that seeding actually looks like. Hopefully that's a little bit more of a qualifier. Yes, that is the correct rumor that's going on right now, that Lil Gun did sell their Division 1 slot to Geek Slate, aka Geek Fam. Yes. In any case, let me see if there's a match going on right now. I do want to... Oh, you know what? I never actually completed the prediction. And RZ Esports did win all the way back then. There is the channel points for those of you who did wager on that. We can catch a little bit of this hashtag Reaper game, perhaps. Yeah, lovely. Alrighty, what do we got here? That's a Huskar in best of one. This is still a best of one match, by the way. This is going to be the last round we play today. We only do 2 rounds of the best of ones. Let me go ahead and bracket just so we can see where this match is taking place. This is going to be the hashtag Reaper versus Cars 10s. As we can hear an Ember Spirit taking quite a bit of damage there. Oof, oof. Okay. Wow. So this was an Ember mid against the Huskar. I don't know what the draft order was. Great kill into Huskar, though. Hashtag Reaper are doing the right thing because I can guarantee you guys there is no worse matchup, probably I would wager in all of Dota, than Ember versus Huskar. It is unplayable for Ember Spirit. And for him to only be down 1,000 gold speaks volumes to how well his team is playing around him. Very, very well done. Hashtag Reaper now maybe looking to counter-initiate. They know that there's no pounce anymore for a couple more seconds on the Slark as they will force out that Shadow Dance. Visage setting the Familiars to do some work as the Ember Spirit jumping onto the backline. He's got one more Remnant, pops the wand, but not enough HP to survive through this one. As I believe he actually got caught there by the Familiars. Really well executed there by Cars 10s. To answer Boyne Edota. So when I said the grand finals are played, what I meant was that the grand finals in each round of the open qualifiers are played. We will not play the grand finals in closed qualifiers. It's unnecessary, as a double bracket, a double elimination bracket naturally already tells you who's the 1 and 2 seed. If you win the upper bracket, of course, you're the number 1 seed. So we have 2 teams going into that. Ember instacast. Yeah, that's true. He did kind of make a madman kind of jump in. We'll see, though. I mean, you kind of have to play like this to get back in it against the Huskar. This is, again, a terrible match. Because they have now caught themselves a Mirana. A swift silence there on the Ancient Seal is going to ensure her death.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Reaper has a very good coordinated draft. Let's examine that statement. I'm not sure, again, when this draft order was completed, but let me see. Who's their carry do? So, yeah, I find it fairly hard to disagree with you. Again, it's hard to say general statements without looking at the draft. This is a good fight, though, such because there's already a Diffusal on Slark. Sedusa has all of her mana deleted. No longer has enough here for the Stone Gaze, but does receive enough support here. Nice job from Maid, who on the sidelines does hold down 2 there with the Searing Chains. They even managed to get the Ember Spirit out alive as Tusk buys them enough space and time to retreat with a nice snowball dodge. That is, however, an almost max duration arrow onto onto Sky. Will they make any follow-up jump? Not by the looks of things.
Radiant structures are
Of course,
fortified.
Mystic Snake doesn't steal any mana from the Familiars, as they have no intelligence.
Under attack.
Illusion!
See, hashtag Reaper very eager to keep this tier 1 tower alive. Makes it a lot easier for this Slark, this Tiny, this Visage, this Huskar, this Mirana, all 5 of them actually. Karstens want this tower down so they can sweep across the map. That's why Reaper is playing so aggressively in the mid lane, maybe even too aggressively as they resummon the Familiars. Walrus Punch doesn't interrupt the Familiar micro, but Ember is still alive, and Visage down for the count. If they actually take down these Familiars, it's a huge blow. He just resummoned those in order to get 2 more stuns. It just wasn't enough damage, not enough lockdown, not enough follow-up. And hashtag Reaper now. They move on to a tier 2 tower quite aggressively. That's a Blink Dagger reveal for STR on this Tiny. He will die for that, but does pick up the kill onto the Ember Spirit.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Good escape there. Beastmaster already with the Helm of the Overlord online, so engage, split, push shenanigans. This will make taking this tier 1 tower even more difficult. Close qualifier predictions for me is drink water, low gun, and neon. I think those are fairly safe estimates. Hard to say, of course, until we know the full
Dire's middle tower is under
bracket,
attack.
but yeah, seems realistic, honestly. Mongolians are up and coming pretty strong. Yes, that's true. I think Neon has 3 players from Mongolia on its squad, at least according to the flags on Wikipedia. Careful here. Okay, couple big deaths here, honestly, in the mid lane. I mean, that's Proten's probably can take this tower now. You can see this Huskar now with BKB on the way. May start to take over this game. 3 big deaths here. Reaper just backing up. Medusa not quite yet in fighting shape.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's Huskar just taking on the tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, Sky Encore also looked pretty good. That's true. Oh, Avatos. Pretty good combo. Medusa does get off the Stone Gaze. Maybe they actually turn you onto the Huskar, but no. He has BKB. So that, and actually, I haven't already used the Walrus Punch. He feels pretty safe here. Ward set up, though. Maybe giving #Reaper a chance to counter-initiate. It is going to be really difficult as Tiny actually jumps back in. Avatar sets up for a good duration arrow here. Dusa already used the Stone Gaze. Needs support. Will not receive any. No saves yet available as the Roar does nothing but stun up the Huskar for a couple more seconds. Ember trying to do as much damage as he can here in the mix. But is going to be forced back, as fighting into this Huskar proving to be very difficult. They're low. They are pretty low now. As they finally do remove the ward. Mirana leaps away there from those wild axes coming her way. No further action. Having lost the Dusa, they've lost the Ember. That was a really bad sequence of events actually for #Reaper. Good BKB usage from Huskar, I would say. Does get him. Is that for real? Halfway to his Ags already? Yo, this hero is snowballing. He's balling. That's going to be pretty dangerous. Oh, let me get rid of this. My bad. Oof. Pretty difficult game. It is a lot on the back of this Huskar, though. Slark, let's see. What's he building? Acceptor, I imagine. So he is continuing to scale. Eggs is a pretty decent item, good stats, and of course the mobility does help you get around in these fights. Careful though, they're onto the Dusa yet again. And there is no Acceptor yet. Now they're going to make the jump. Their TP, there is none actually because Dusa TP to the lane. He's now running. Stone Gaze has ended. There's going to be the Roar onto the Huskar. They're going to kill him. Not a bad engagement so far as they resummon the Familiars. They're going to lose the Visage proper. There's 3 dead. They try and gank this Dusa, but honestly, just a little bit too close to the tier 1 tower. They reinforce and easily turn the engagement. Danger of BKB against these lineups that kind of just pierce it anyway. There's an 8-second BKB, and Huskar cannot hit the Dusa for what felt like 3 seconds out of that because of Stone Gaze. Then he gets roared in the tail seconds of BKB. Endgame is hard, because they're trying to steal your Roche, and they will steal your Roche. You're a Huskar. You want this. You need this, even. You're not going to get it. Just for the Ember. Makes his game a lot easier to play now, and he does have the money for the BKB. Easy kill there for the Slark as he takes down at least the Skywrath Mage. Has, of course, 2 leaps, or 2 pounces, so he's never going to really be caught by Ice Shards. Not that easily, anyway.
Come and fight me. Offering accepted.
Regeneration.
Dagger now on this Tusk, so can make a couple maybe of crucial saves. It's really good to have this item versus something like a taunt like this Huskar's, because you can just keep someone in snowball for the entire taunt duration. They're going to lose these familiars again. He's got them available to resummon, but this is like maybe 400 gold. We've seen him kind of swing over, which is, you know, not insignificant. This is a pretty close game right now. So that amount of gold that you give to the enemies is going to maybe make a little bit of a difference.
Let us fight.
Dusa coming along very nicely. Eye of Scotty doesn't completely turn this matchup on its head, but does make it a lot easier to play versus this Huskar, naturally being a ranged hero, and of course requiring his sustain for, well, basically it's the hero. His game becomes a lot harder to play, for sure. Not until I'd say that this Dusa has a little bit more damage does she really start having a big advantage in this matchup, but the Eye of Scotty is certainly a fairly big turning point.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified.
Race pack finished for the
Dire's
Visage.
top tower
Good
is
item
under
versus the
attack.
Dusa, good item versus the Ember Spirit for sure. Very good item versus the Tusk, reducing all of his burst. Skywrath Mage, of course, now is going to be uninhibited by that. I believe axes are magic.
Dire's
Yes, indeed.
top tower has fallen.
Yeah, it's a pretty good item in this game. I don't mind him building the Wraith Pact, to be completely honest. What's my favorite team in closed qualifiers? They're all my favorite. They're all my favorite. I think
Dire's
Drinkwater
top
might be my
tower is
favorite
under
because it
attack.
has, of course, Miracle.
Radiant's middle tower
I'm a
is
big
under
fan
attack.
of the old names. Lilgun back in as well. This new Neon Esports looks really good, if I'm being honest. I was impressed by Sky Encore Esports, and I do love a good Filipino stack. I didn't really get to see Spawn Team play too much. I know that they have Mamang Daya, but and I'm a fan of his, but I haven't really seen a whole ton of them.
Shadows.
Careful though, really nice Searing Chains. They're going to try and burst through the Tiny here first. The better option, but the Depth Shroud keeps him alive. That leaves Ember scrambling in the dark as an arrow and a roar connect on the back line. Sky's going to buy back, but it's Huskar in trouble. It's Huskar who's dead. Slark pouncing out. He's used all of his abilities here, so can really do not much more. RDP with a double kill in this fight as Ember chasing for more, finds this Mirana out of leaf charges. Walrus Punch, 3 dead. And that might mark a turning point in this game. They easily well, it wasn't even really a turn because it was them proposing the fight. Really fantastic job done there. Ember Spirit popping off. Really just with Orb of Corrosion, he's just... Oh, of course, he's got Arcane Rune. That'll do it. So he's just constantly casting these Sleight of Fists, and it's absolutely ruining them. But the Medusa left alone might spoil this fight. Eye of Scotty delivered, turning and fighting, trying to maybe take down the Tiny. As in comes a bit of support. RDP, though, has no ultimate, but here's the Ember Spirit now. The Shadow Dance is ready again. He has nothing except for another Depth Shroud. Lots of stack of the Essence here, but not a lot of damage here on the Slark as he is slowed to a crawl by the Scotty debuff, caught up and killed by the Snowball. And that is certainly going to be the nice cherry on top of what was already a beautiful fight here for Reaper Esports. I think game is squarely in their control from here. There can be no looking back. Showbiz answer? Yeah, obviously it's a showbiz answer. I like Drinkwater. I like Drinkwater. I do really like a lot of these teams.
Dire's bottom tower
I do really like a lot of these
Let us
teams.
fight.
Really cool to get the Myanmar teams back in YG. Drinkwater, I think, is a really cool squad of international players. Neon Esports as well, but an international squad too. Zeal's just really good. Miracle's really good. Zalern is really good. He impressed me. Kishka as well. RR as well. I mean, they're just all good. I just like Dota.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This stream is not shown in
Radiant's
Liquipedia
top
live
tower
games. That's
has
fine.
fallen.
They don't always show open qualifiers. If you want, you can edit it in. I mean, this is an
Radiant's
official stream,
courier has been
as
killed.
kind of lax as we like to do on the first day of opens.
Radiant's top tower
But feel
is
free,
under
but no
attack.
pressure.
Dire's middle
Tell your
tower
friends
is
we're
under
streaming the
attack.
opens. We're going to be catching the Atomic Esports match next, by the way.
Shadows take us.
Atomic Esports versus Zen Esports right after this one. Hashtag Reaper versus Karstens, pardon. This is really like the last good opportunity for Karstens to get back in this game, and that's a perfect jump if they can actually get on top of this Ember Spirit. They need to connect on the ultimate, though. from the life break, and they haven't. They go for the Beastmaster instead, and they save him with the snowball to blink on in. Songaze does actually catch the Slark. He's used Depth Shroud. Now that's going to be Shadow Dance utilized. Fight's looking pretty decent. The Roar is going to be onto the Mirana, and they take her down and out of the fight. But they're now onto the Beastmaster as Tusk is taken down. Slark leapt through his corpse, was expecting to land on him as Toy, out of mana, still in fighting shape though. They stun 2 there on the Familiars, but they will lose them. So the fight still... well, still a win. I didn't actually see the Huskar go down. And down goes the Visage, makes it a square 3 for 2, so just a straight-up better trade. Huskar, once his BKB is out, it's just gone. I think they actually need to take down this Tusk. He's just too annoying with his Blink Snowball saves. He's on the money. Very well played.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'll take that.
Well, that's 2 leap charges. That means you're dead. No chance to leap away. Missile Flare. There it is. Missile Flare. A little bit more damage, but not enough. The wand charges keeping the bottom alive. This is a curious counter engage. They're looking for it. They're looking for something. Sky would be a great catch as the Avalanche fails to catch the Ember Spirit mid sleight of fist, but the Pound certainly will force out the BKB. That's a big win. That is a big win. They were scared.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Lotus Orb and the quick buy for the bottom. I think that's a really good item here. Reflecting Roar, Dispelling Chains. Dispelling the Silence is a big one. Yeah. Excuse me. Huskar actually holding on to this Psychic Headband. Probably not so much for the Inked boost, but certainly for the cast range, so he can actually get on top of these heroes. Ags already gives you, I believe, a cast range increase, but he does need a little bit more to catch the Ember. Such is his really, really phenomenal positioning in this game. They need to take down Tusk. Tusk, I think, is key to the start of these fights. If they can take down Tusk in one swoop before they get roared and before Snowball comes out, I think these fights are still very winnable for them. But Snowball is such a problem for Huskar right now. Especially because of this Blink Dagger on Tusk. As you can see, the Tusk is always ready for a fight, and they need to kill him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Zero. Swing wide. Nothing to catch there. Uh-oh. It's a Remnant. It's a Familiar down. Bit harder to split push with those things these days since they did nerf the radius of Gravekeeper's Cloak. Visage does have at least one for more Familiars in a few more seconds, so he's not without them for long. Rosh up in 3 seconds now. Teams won't know that. Looks like it was a fairly fast Rosh timer, maybe about a minute or less. And of course, with Hawks, Boars, Helm of the Dom, Helm of the Overlord even, I do expect Radiant to see this first. That's hashtag Reaper. Huskar approaching this 20 talents. If he wants that, maybe for the life break cooldown, it would reasonably give you 2 life breaks in a fight. Not out of the question. That's a bait. Don't jump the Dusa. You really want this Tusk. Gondry. Take him down. And there he is. He is showing. There's going to be the Avalanche. Yes, this is exactly how they want to start the fights. He doesn't have buyback either, and you can see the hesitation from Reaper. I'm not really sure if they want to go in or not. And for good reason. Oh, free Courier.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Okay, they decide to let the Ember's Courier live. That was curious. And good positioning as well from hashtag Reaper. Very disciplined play. They're going to hold the high ground here on the ward. Tusk without buyback, though. Oh, careful. That Rosh just absolutely demolished that Familiar. It means that this is going to be a bit difficult. There's an Acceptor as well for STR, who does slow down everyone here with the trigger up, and not a lot of damage. As in goes now the Slard. They failed to kill anyone there with the Mystic Flare. Roche falling low, and now they're going to look to try and rush it. Huskar, though, he's going to be roared up. Roche bashes the Medusa into the slam. It's still going to be Aegis into the hands, however, of the Huskar. They take down the Beastmaster. Dusa finds herself out of the pit, has Hurricane Pike, will use it now, but Huskar closing the gap and will still be able to pick up the kill onto the Dusa. A breath of fresh air here, wind in the sails, and the game back to perhaps 50-50 as Dire pick up a big fight win. A Basher as well on Slark. I don't think they get this kill with Tusk in the vicinity, but really pushing their luck here as Karstens as they leap even further in, forcing the blink back. Nicely done. Great fight there. And what could have gone a bit differently there, honestly, if Roche chose not to bash Dusa. Bit unlucky, but that's the way she goes, and that's why we love this game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures
High ground now.
fortified.
We've been looking for a second building, and with the amount of damage that they did to this thing already, yeah, shouldn't be too much longer here. On it goes.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Cobalt and Atomic Esports for Q,
Radiant's
open
middle
Q4.
barracks
I don't know if that's possible. I think they're on the same side of the
Radiant's
bracket.
middle barracks.
So I think it's going to have to be one of them. Good Force Staff, but it's not going to break the life break. Mystic Flare not nearly enough damage. Depth Shroud as well, providing plenty of HP. Careful here. You could lose the game. That's 2 dead. They've got buyback at least on this Beastmaster, but they're going for tier 4s. Sensing an opening here. Karstens taking down a tier 4. They have no more fortifies. They toss the Dusa back on in. She's going to get the Mantis style off. Okay, Huskar a bit low. Has himself a refresher. Has the BKB active now. Has no more life break for a couple more seconds. But the Dusa stunned up. They're trying to get through the Huskar. There's going to be at least the inner fire to go for the disarm. Huskar is going to go down. This guy didn't give a little bit too much to deal with. He's got a refresh when he respawns. Still no Tusk for 15 more seconds as they life break in. But they've got him into the fountain. He's fallen low, but still actually alive and just going for the TP out. Tusk is dead. They can't actually cancel this, but they will still actually lose the Ember Spirit. Slark is going to die for that, though. Going boldly where no one should go before. And that was a scary moment for sure for #Reaper. And maybe a moment that Karstens are going to come to regret. They do lose quite a bit there. Whew, that was tense. You love to see the aggression, right? Teams that sense an opening and without hesitation just really go for it. They didn't even actually get the ranged barracks. They just went straight for a tier 4 tower, and by God, they did take it down. Huskar makes it out alive. Slark not so much. Not really sure if that kill is necessarily worth it. It is another permanent stack of Agi, but of course it's going to be a difficult kill to have to deal with now. They did get a buyback out, didn't they? Yes, they got a buyback out of the Skywrath Mage and a buyback out of the Beastmaster. So not completely an unwarranted play. Not completely unworth it, but of course, against a Dusa, against an Ember, when you have a Slark and a Huskar especially, his scaling is going to really fall off here fairly soon. He's going to get this Halberd online. Certainly a strong item, especially against a Dusa. And maybe that'll give him a bit more hope. But we're really starting to run out of these power spike items now for the Huskar. I'd say BKB is really the big one. This 20 talent is certainly nice. And I do wonder if he hits 25 this game, what talents he'll go for, if we'll get to that stage. It is gritty. It is gritty. Definitely not Matador, but like I said, it's a matter of we have a Huskar against a Dusa and an Ember Spirit. Slark is clearly, I mean, we've already seen he can't outcarry this game. He can't outcarry a Dusa. He can't outcarry an Ember. It can't be done. So I respect the play, honestly. It was a little bit too much. Maybe after the buybacks, you look to try and get out of there, but it is what it is, you know? I have to respect it.
I made my kill.
What's going on here? They are fighting. They did get a nice bash off as the Moonlight Shadow trying to cover the retreats. They are maybe underneath a sentry, though, as Ember goes hunting for more. Won't find anyone. Tiny dead for a minute and a half. I believe he bought back earlier. Another Remnant on, and he's caught two! But who's catching who here? As Ember Spirit is going to die. A very aggressive jump in. Gem of True Sight now on the Tusk, as they actually have caught the Tusk with an arrow. Another life break here will keep them taunted up. They're trying to keep the Deuce out of this as well. They got the disarm off before she actually BKB'd. 2 turn to stone, but they're under the cover of the Depth Shroud and the healing. It's maybe too much for them to deal with. They're on to Beastmaster now. Already used the Roar as the Huskar will take him down. Dusa trying to 1v5 and is doing so here with the Ancient Granite Golem beating down the Huskar. Ember has bought back into this match and he's made it well worth his trouble, as he is going to get 3, but ultimately it's Toy who is just way too big to take down. They all die. And it's just Huskar. It's only Huskar doing damage.
Got it.
This game's crazy. You can tell the nerves getting to these guys. And I mean that in the utmost respect. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. What I mean is the pressure is on. Both teams committing a couple of errors, a little bit of mistakes here. And here they go. Here they go.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's a bit hard from Slark there. I'm not sure what happened. He got a good Depth Shroud off and then just really didn't do anything. He's not really getting as much damage as he needs to. Someone needs to burn this mana of the Medusa, and he's kind of the only one that can do it. Well, he's the best one to do it. Arrow sails through. Won't find a single hero. A BKB from Dusa doing a lot of work in that fight. As will summon the illusions to help do a bit more pushing.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures
Fortifies out. And they actually do need to be a bit careful here. Tree Volley to nuke the wave. This Tiny is starting to get some damage online. Is that a Daedalus or Crystallis finished? It is. This is a big turning point. This casual crit is a lot of damage. So now Tiny actually is not only going to be doing the Tree Volley for like the AoE slow and control, it'll be doing damage. That might be enough to literally accidentally kill a Skywrath Mage. He's only got 2 armor still. Of course, the 0.8 agi gain per level is only rivaled by Tiny's literal 0. But Tiny, of course, has Grow armor, whereas the Skywrath Mage only has the Shard, which, by the way, no one ever buys. I think Shield of the Scion is much better now that it's per damage instance and not per spell cast. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it.
Invisibility.
I would have thought so interesting. I did agree with you. Definitely not Matador. He actually still wants to play the toss back game because he has gone toss requires no targeting. Careful here, Dusa. They are smoked up, and I think they scouted him somehow. I'm not sure. I think maybe they saw the Hawk underneath the sentry, perhaps, is what Morana saw. Smoke has ended. It's expired as # Reaper will take down a ward. Ember Spirit tosses forward the Remnant, finds the root onto 1. Tiny looking for the toss play in. They force that from forward, but he's going to get silenced. Slark is in! Slark is in! And he's clipped himself, and he's going to be forced to pounce himself away. Not really the fight they were looking for. Tree Volley doing decent damage there to the Dusa, but she's just not the ideal target. She is way too tanky as Ember Spirit's gone in. Kind of a bit like a madman, but it forces the Life Break to kind of disengage as they do blow up the Slark yet again. He's just dead. I think they caught him with another silence, and now the team fight. It's all the way for # Reaper. A decent life break there, but they're going to be able to spell it here on the Dusa. She gets right back to business. They at least get through the Tusk, but Huskar, he's down for the count, has buyback, but the team fight crumbling around them as the Ember Spirit tiptoeing around this fight. And once again, the Skywrath Mage catching them just as they need to. Slark, unfortunately there. Yep, just silenced again. Into Roar, into Walrus Punch, and no way he makes it out of that one alive. Ouch. Ouch.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Not how you wanted this one to go. I really think that Karsten's played an amazing game to get back kind of in control. You can kind of see at this very moment, right, for how much Reaper was leading against the Huskar. They wrestled away control. Karstens did very well to wrestle it straight back, and unfortunately the last 2 team fights, which funnily enough have both been in this area, just have not gone their way.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And that might be GG here. I think without buyback on Slark, it's going to be really hard to defend. They don't have any fortifies either. They're all out. It's at least going to be Megas by the time this... Well, maybe not Megas, but a second lane of Barracks.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Ember's 25, by the way. He's gone for 2 Sleight of Fist charges. Medusa 25. Split shot uses modifiers. And they are retreating now. Oscar is still 24. Slark 24. I believe if we've hit any other major spikes. Global concussive shot. Really? Okay, fair enough. I guess plus 12% damage ain't much. They're going to smoke up here out of the base, looking for a play. Hero, looking to scout Roche. He's back in 10 seconds, actually. And Toy, he's in the vicinity. I think he's got, ninja gear, which is why he's smoked up. So he's a hard target to actually catch.
Offering accepted.
First site purchase, but from Karsten, certainly their backs against the walls now with one lane of barracks to their names. This Dusa's very big, has a silver edge now even. She's pretty much 6-slotted and has a butterfly. Don't know if there's any way to deal with that. You do get a 25% accuracy, essentially, from Skull Basher. Every 4 seconds, of course, if you proc it. Or what is the cooldown on Basher? 2.3 seconds. So not exactly what you want, to be honest, because you'll still miss a fair amount of those attacks. I don't think Tree Volley can miss. Can someone confirm or deny that for me? Can Tree Volley miss if you have evasion? I have no idea. I suspect no. I suspect not, to be honest. Can't really miss. You can't miss Life Break. No, not can't really. You just can't miss Life Break. It's a spell. And oh, hello, says Murata. Dusa casually picture for a ton of damage. Tree Volley cannot miss. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It'd be a little silly. Good arrow there onto the Dusa, but of course you know that the rest of the team is ready to jump in if you even try and touch her. And of course this Tusk is still very much a problem. Ember Spirit, he's going in, going for the kill. What has he found? A couple of heroes here now on the roots, jumping in and around and out of the fight, and really to the worst of Karsten. As now Medusa is just dying there to the splash. Or sorry, it's Murata who's dying to the splash damage, but most importantly, it's, my goodness, everyone just getting deleted. I think Medusa turned 3 people to stone in this fight? What? Did Huskar get roared? Okay, Huskar got roared, and that's why he got turned to stone. But the counter initiation, it's just too strong. This top area of the map shall now be renamed to the Karsten's Graveyard, because basically, here lies their hopes and dreams. They've just all died, and now they're all buying back. This is literally everything they have left. They're going for Roche now. It's so hard. Only one hero with buyback. They've all bowed out for this. They just have to contest this Roche. There's no other way. The last time they actually managed to turn a fight was around the Roche pit, and there he is with his little Santa hat. Adorable. Adorable. Here we go. Once again, same part of the map. Slark immediately is not going to be silenced for once. They're onto the Brewmaster now. There's Tree Volley doing a little bit of work, trying to get through at least the Beastmaster, as Huskar is going to force out the Snowball. The Roar is forced out, but it's Dusa who's just standing in between her team and the enemies as they're trying to get through her or get around her, but it's not happening. Slark is all out of spells. He's going to go down. Morana's already dead. Visage has nothing left but 20 wand charges. He'll use them, but it's only a couple more auto attacks to come out until he's dead. Huskar has to just TP away, but there's just no chance now. They've lost the supports, but they've got buyback, and this one, it looks like it's all but over.
What did you learn?
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Immortality!
Now, with an Aegis on Medusa, and a cheese, and a refresher shard. Just give me everything. I'm the carry, after all. Why shouldn't I have a little bit of Roche bounty? The biggest creep wave I ever did see in the mid lane. What is this, like 8 melee? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It's like 6 range creeps before they get multi-shot by the towers. But still, significant amount of damage with the inner Beast Aura as well. Really, really making this push quite speedy. 2 cores dead for at least 50 seconds. And this one, I think, is all but over, as it should be. Hashtag Reaper, moving on. They're going to take down the Morana. 4 step away. She got buyback. Doing what you can. But without a Fortify here, the game's just simply over way too fast. Hashtag Reaper, moving on to the next round, which is, I think, going to take place tomorrow. Yes, of course, this is the fourth and final open qualifiers, which is why we're not seeing teams GG out, even in obviously impossible situations. You can't really blame them for it, guys. You can't really blame them. Okay, Atomic Esports versus Zen. Absolutely perfect. Let's see if we're going to have any bit of a break at all. I am kind of doubting it. Yeah, we're in the draft already. It actually looks like the draft is completed, so we'll go ahead and toss up our prediction because it's perfect time. I won't say anything about this because I'm actually going to use this very, very brief pause before we actually get loaded into the game to run to the bathroom. So apologies for the T-Tours at the start of this match, but I will be right back. I'll be right back.
Ладно, смотрим дальше.
这一把要一战成神，打你们5个。
Oh boy.
That went swimmingly.
Beast bump.
Ah, perfect. We've even paused the game for good measure. Okay. Alrighty, we are back.
That went
Let's go ahead and select these items, and I even have news. I have news, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon we'll have news.
Ладно,
We'll see.
смотрим дальше.
We'll still pause.
Ладно, смотрим
Oh,
дальше.
Lyra. Although not casting, not yet. But
So this whole mess
we
is all your
we are
fault?
trying to reach him here on the blower. Any second now. As soon as he picks
Try a
up.
bit harder next time.
That went swimmingly.
We'll see. He's going to be joining. He should be joining for this match, though. So not too worried, ladies and gentlemen. It won't be another solo cast, which means you get to hear someone else's voice and not just mine. Yeah, it looks like it might be. You know what happened is someone picked a Bloodseeker, and he's like, I'll cast this game. No problem. Yeah, what do we have here? I didn't take a look, honestly. I just went to the took a bio break real quick, so I didn't see what the draft order was. But I do see a Naga Siren that people are discussing against a Medusa, against an Ember Spirit. I do like those solutions as well. Does make the Clockwork and Marana feel a lot weaker, obviously, as they are a bit stronger versus non-illusions, basically, but weaker to the illusions. Pango, however, is a very good solution as well, especially because it appears that he is going offlane with an Ember Spirit in the mix and a Medusa. And I like a lot of the builds that Pangos have against illusion carries. His lane doesn't seem too impossible. Between an Abba and a Naga, like, you're probably not going to kill Naga Siren. That just doesn't seem like an option. You have 2 dispels and a heal in that lane. But it also doesn't seem super likely they kill you either. So I think this Pango should be off to a fairly good start, and actually is going to be trying to go for... Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know about Diffusal. Diffusal would have been a very interesting option. I do agree that as offlane Pango versus Naga, you probably want some sort of damage, but I'm not sure what kind of damage you ideally want. This is Zen Esports. Zen Esports on some people here favoring Atomic, and fair enough. They have made it of the 4 rounds of qualifiers we've had. They have made it to 3 of them as far as the last day, or 2 of them, and now they're only one best of 1 away from making it back to the best of 3, which is a promising sign, certainly for these players, if nothing else. Havinci or Havinci? These illusions have lost their HP bar for me for some reason, but it's fine. They didn't try and deny anything there. It's like 2, 3 runes for Zen Esports. Right? Because, yeah. No, 4? Did they actually get all 4 runes? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they got 3 runes. I don't know why that's so difficult for me to off the glance see who got runes and who didn't. It is one of the hardest things for my mind to boggle with. I'd also like to see Atomic in close qualifiers. I think they've got themselves a pretty good chance, to be honest. Playing seems pretty hard for Ember Spirit. Not a lot of armor here, of course, to his name. Even with the Sleight of Fist, Tusk just tanked through that entire Flame Guard. Did not care at all. And top lane, of course, Abbas. This is what they do best. They accidentally pushed Wave. At least he didn't proc onto the range creep by just tanking the Aphotic Shield and then trying to release the damage onto 2 enemy heroes. Does really help you kind of go Ooga Booga mode and just kind of run and right-click enemies. You can see, though, it really pushes the wave quite a bit. But Rin in good position to still follow up and get the creeps anyway. They've gotten the kobolds. Kobolds? What did we agree on, chat? It's kobold, right? They've gotten the kobolds. And yeah, Mirana very good at intercepting these pull attempts. So, especially with Arrow, you can usually fish at him and be really annoying in general, as the Aphotic Shield not breaking on that instance. But Naga having a fairly easy time, I think, as we expect. Abba very likely to have this pull attempt interrupted. No, he didn't, actually. It's not a full pull, but it's still pretty good, as the Naga illusion is going to send Katie scrambling here. First pair of water runes spawn now for both sides, as Yona is going to do well to interrupt Fufu Fire's bottle sip, and decides not to contest for that individual rune. Hello, Abo. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Waiting. Hello, Abo. How's it going?
Hello, Richie. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty well. Are you on this Atomic Esports and Zen match?
That's what I'm entering right now.
Lovely. We've got ourselves a pretty fun match. It's a mid-Ember versus mid-Tusk. There's a Pangolier offlane versus the Naga Siren top with a Abaddon in the game. And bottom lane, it's a Dusa versus the Bloodseeker, which is always pretty fun.
Okay, interesting. So they put the Bloodseeker as the offlaner?
Yeah.
Just take flames?
I didn't take a look at the draft. I joined a bit too late, but I assume it was like a later pick Naga Siren, perhaps? Might have tried. No, it couldn't have been, because they have too many Naga answers. Maybe it was a Bloodseeker later pick to try and stop this Ember. There's probably a counter pick to the Pango as well. Probably had to have been. I don't know.
Really? It seems to me like they flexed the Bloodseeker once they saw the Dusa.
Could have been.
That's what I would assume anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Because this matchup is impossible for Bloodseeker. It's actually probably Bloodseeker's worst carry matchup.
No blood for you.
Medusa is cold-blooded, right? So he doesn't get any blood from her.
Yes, it's also that this hero likes to stand in the same place and then the hit, right? Which is like Bloodseeker's worst nightmare. And then you Bloodseeker, you're a Bloodseeker and you go, oh, I want to hit you 1,000 times. Oh, God, that's 10% of your health? Really? 1,000 times? You sure, Dusa? You do him 1,000 more times, and then somehow his health is growing now. And Thirst does nothing as well, because obviously it all goes to her mana pool, so it's a very annoying matchup, actually. It's the hero carry Bloodseeker player is probably the worst one.
I can see that.
I've tried Diffusal Blade in the matchup so many times because you think, theoretically, right? Like, you hit fast, and this takes away her mana, so it like solves my issue. It does not. It does jack diddly squat. It is very stupid.
I think, yeah, Fufu Fire, by the way, mid's going to get both water runes. Ember did not contest it at all because Fufu pushed the wave with Ice Shards and Snowball.
I think that's the biggest strength of the Tusk mid, right? Like, people were talking about how easy it is to control the lane with this hero, and then afterwards to farm with this hero. That's why he's been so popular. I'm glad that we're seeing it even in like open qualifiers, right?
No, it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Clockwork takes a death down bottom. Kind of a difficult support matchup against the Hoodwink, unless you can get on top of her. Even then, she runs through the trees. Doesn't have Scurry yet, though.
Yeah. I don't think you go for Scurry. I think people are starting to really value the second point in Acorn Shot, or just points in Acorn Shot overall, because it's a very good laning spell. Even if it's pretty bad in the mid game, the amount of damage you can deal with the spell early is super, super high.
Yeah, and Scurry,
maybe in a Clockwork Dusa game you ignore.
Yeah, Scurry doesn't look that amazing anyway. Between an Ember, Murano can leap after you, Pango rolls after you. Doesn't seem super value early on.
Scurry against Spirits. I mean, in general, Hoodwink against Spirits is probably one of the weakest matchups that Hoodwink has. Obviously, it's not a matchup because you don't usually lane against them, but you just gotta fodder because they have so much mobility, like you mentioned. Bottom though, Jotun could be in trouble again. They do have the Thirst bonus now. They're chasing after him, face boots, and that is gonna allow him to get the kill. Well done.
Yeah, Yona's taking quite the beating mid lane. Tusk is just eager to fight anytime he's got the 1-2 spell combo available. Now, Havinci looking for more. Will lack the damage though. Maybe even dead as the arrow misses. That'll actually get Ember off of his trail. Ooh.
Trail.
Yeah, a trail. As you say, showdown, right? That's how it's said. Trail.
Alright. Sorry, I realized English was your third language, Richie. That was a very gratuitous insult.
Tusk is tanking 2-2 tower shots as his Snowball tried to chase Ember Spirit into the fountain.
I respect this. I think if you're playing in SCA, you have to understand this is something you have to do. It's in the rule book, actually. If you don't chase him down, like, who are you even?
No,
what is he doing? There was no way that was happening. No way that was a kill.
Well, Morano's out of leap charges. Has no mana for the arrow after that as well. So he's safely away. He forced the leap out.
You know what? Yeah, it's not bad. Good for Fufu Fear.
Fufu Fire?
Fufu Fear.
I call him
Fufu
Fire. I guess it isn't fire.
It's fear, right?
I don't know, but I guess if you were gonna go with like the something fire, like the liquefier, that's how you would spell it, right? You wouldn't spell it fire, like F-I-R-E.
Why not?
That's just not how it's spelled. Look up liquefier.
Liquid fire?
Yeah, like a liquid, like something like an object that turns solids into liquids. That would be a liquefier, and that's how.
Oh, liquid fire.
Not like liquid fire. Not like Jakiro. Not everything is in Dota, old man.
I was very confused. I thought you were just saying liquid fire over and over again. Okay, Havichi evaded the swashbuckle, or they just got fisted, but they got him. Fiend. Chasing after Rin, and Rin, nice, very good body block by Fiend, preventing his escape. Rin has a lot of armor though, so this is going to be a long chase. They somehow hit him with a second Star Storm, but not with the first one, which is fascinating.
Strength
I didn't know you could do that.
I don't know. You can do that. He's actually to live. And by the way,
he's gonna live.
What?
Nope. They got it with a shield crash. He tried with a mirror image of evasion. It's not bad.
I actually, not only did he not hit him with the first Star Storm, but the second one, he did it twice in that chase. I also didn't know you could do that. That was really weird.
Yeah. I mean, I know the radius got increased now for the second one, so maybe it's more common to see this now. I'm just not a Marana player, I guess.
Also,
December?
Bloodseeker casually got a double kill.
It's January!
Dire's top tower.
And Havichi in the top lane is in a similar position. He athletic before, so the arrow, so he doesn't get hurt by the arrow, but that shield crash really does hurt, and Havichi probably is going to die here to one last auto attack. Tries to deny himself, but that's impossible now. Fiend in trouble because your Rushka's chasing after him. And into the trees he goes. They do see him, but they can't get to him because of the ice shards.
Yeah, nicely done. They'll kill them all. Yeah, I think December's mortal enemy is probably the Gregorian calendar, isn't it?
Dyer's middle tower
Adding
is
2
under
months so
attack.
that now they don't, you know, your Octa, November, and Deca months don't make any more sense.
That's true. How many calendars are in the world that are still being used? There's also the Chinese calendar, right?
That's true.
Radiant's
I guess the
Lunar
old
calendars
Kill.
or in
Yeah.
Islam.
There's the old Japanese calendar as well, which I don't think is used, but commonly, but some people still call it that.
Fire's gonna get the kill there. And he's going fairly standard build. Phase boots into the Falcon Blade, Blink Dagger. Standard stuff there. Ember Spirit in response is going for full Orb of Corrosion. And then probably BKB. I'm starting to see that build become predominantly popular here in the qualifiers on Embers. No more Maelstrom, just straight BKB after your Orb of Corrosion.
Oh yeah, I've seen that a lot too. Actually, it was looking at someone's stats. Who was it? You know, Avatar mode. Actually, I was looking at his stats. He, for all the BTS Pro Series games, he would go either Orb Corrosion into BKB or Orb Corrosion into Urn into BKB, right?
Oh, interesting.
Or alternatively, Desolator. He would just skip the Maelstrom and go Desolator straight up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and
I-
so I looked at his games and I was like, oh, is this a new build in Ember? And then I realized he built
Dyer's top
Desolator on
tower
Kunkka,
is
and then I
under
went, okay,
attack.
maybe he's this guy.
Dyer's
Maybe
structures
just
are
he thing.
fortified.
That's interesting.
Radiant's bottom tower is
I've
under
never seen
attack.
Deso on Kunkka, except for him.
Radiant
Yeah, me
structures
neither. I don't think I
are
have.
fortified.
So on.
Okay, Fufu Fire. Yeah, he's gonna be fine, actually.
Yeah, Ember's left a remnant, so yeah, he'll TV back and look to go fighting
Radiant's
some more, but the
bottom
Invis rune
tower is
actually
under
spawns
attack.
bottom into the bottle of the
Dyer's
Tusk, who
top
has
tower
no
is
mana,
under attack.
so I don't know
Very
if
useful.
we won't get this used probably instantly. Bottom,
Well,
by the
he's
way,
mango though, actually. If he
Bloodseeker-
actually wants to make a play.
that's true.
And 9 magic wand charges. He could use all his spells if he saw someone that's easy to kill, right? The thing is, who do you gank? It's kind of a hard game to gank people as Tusk.
Always use the Invis rune.
Dyer's
Of
top
course,
tower
oh,
is
he's
under
just
attack.
he's just gonna Invis rune gank the melee creep. You got
Radiant's
him.
bottom tower is under
Oh,
attack.
Walrus Punch.
Yeah.
Got a spite.
Okay.
Don't know. I mean, he has no
doesn't have a
remnants,
remnant.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really awkward. Down bottom, they eventually get that kill into
Radiant's
Jotun. This
bottom
Bloodseeker
tower is
is
under
the richest
attack.
hero in the game. He's gotten a lot out of this laning stage, and he is going for utility build. He's got a Rod of
Radiant's
Atos
bottom
now
tower has
flying
fallen.
his way.
Dyer's
Full
top
Fire
tower
is continuing
under
its attack against Fiona. Full Fire might die, saved perhaps by the Mist Coil. They also activated Evan's ultimate. They avoided him, by the way, with a literal Tumbler Story, but get him on the way back. As Vici also dies here to Yona. And Bloodseeker, trying to be the richest man in the
burns.
game, helping out his teammates. This Robin Hood is in trouble. Diffusal Blade destroys him. He's unable to use the blood right
Dyer's middle
whatsoever.
tower is under
Been
attack.
unfortunate. Also, he juked his courier, so he still doesn't have his Rod of Atos delivered. So he's a little bit, yeah, there we go. Finally having it in his inventory. There he goes, immediately setting up the silence. Arrow's going to connect, but most importantly, so is the Blooderites. And that, no, is still not enough damage to kill the Pangolier. He makes it out alive, as does the Bloodseeker, thanks to the thirst movement speed, but certainly doesn't feel too good.
I wonder how much this Bloodseeker will be into utility. Last time I saw the Bloodseeker offlaner was playing by Amar, and he went straight up like the normal Bloodseeker, right? But it is also Amar, so kind of hard to judge.
That makes sense, yeah.
So he went for like Maelstrom after the Atos, he went for Gleipnir, right? Which, okay. This game, Halberd could be a good idea as well for this Bloodseeker.
Radiant's
And perhaps we
bottom
see him
tower
being
is
even more
under
impactful
attack.
against Lusa that way.
Really good bushwhack, but unfortunately without the Snowball Ice Shards to follow up. Gonna try and get away. Hook shot away. He's going to drag Tusk up to the high ground, but there's a Naga Siren here. Borrow Time's going to be procced in the river as Ember Spirit now fighting 3v1 is going to be ruptured. Silenced again and killed off.
Okay, well done. Once again, though, Ember fighting a lot without Remnants, which is a rarity for mid-Embers, right? It's a very dangerous position to be in, especially against double silence. Even if they hadn't silenced him, he would have been stuck. There was no way he could have gotten away, so... Could have avoided things to Sleight of Fist, I suppose, but that was it. And that wouldn't have saved you.
Oops. Well, it's a good skirmishing out from everyone on Zen. Even the Naga Siren, you know, farming her way towards that fight, able to collect the kill onto the Clockwork, or at least assist. Dusk making it out alive. He's got his Falcon Blade now being fetched to him, so he's going to have a little bit more survivability.
I think, well, like I said, the skirmishing is... Generally, if I was Atomic, I wouldn't mind skirmishing because of the kind of line that they have. You know, Pango, Mirana, Clockwork, Ember is pretty good at skirmishing. Obviously, you're just creating space for do so. But I will say that right now, because the Tusk mid is being destabilized quite a lot. This hero is probably the best hero at skirmishing early, hence why the Tusk mid is so popular. And maybe they're going a little bit too ham. They're counting on the Medusa just being able to outfarm the Naga with the space that's being made, but instead, because they're losing these skirmishes, and because Naga is a hero that can just send an illusion away to a camp in the same time as she's catching you, it is making it pretty difficult for Atomic. I would say this Naga versus Medusa matchup is pretty it's pretty Naga favored. I know we've talked about this matchup a lot with Illusions, with PL, but I feel like Naga does not have the same issues as PL against Medusa, mind you.
Interesting.
Because, like, you can argue the Butterfly is still a nuisance for Naga, as it is for almost every hero, right? But Naga does traditionally buy Bloodthorn these days. It's very common for her to buy a lot of Catch, which obviously nullifies the Butterfly for Illusions. And on top of that, the Maelstrom or the Mjolnir, right, with the split shot uses modifiers, which is so good against PL, is not so good against a hero who, again, has 4 illusions, and that's it. It's more about the burst of these illusions and the split pushing for Naga than it is about creating millions of illusions and constantly mowing you down, which is what PL tries to do.
That seems accurate. At first, I was going to go, well, you need your auto attacks to connect for Riptide to do things, but when you brought up the Bloodthorn point, like, that's much more impactful on, obviously, a Naga Siren than it is a PL who just makes more illusions that just get burst by Mjolnir.
Exactly. And I've never seen... I know some PLs will build Orchid, perhaps certain games, it's a popular item in general, but I feel like in Naga it's a core these days.
Yeah, it's starting to become much more popular on the PL, I agree, but it's usually like after Manta and Heart and Diffusal if you're going to try and take down a Deuce. Yes, that's the problem.
I feel like Naga, they actually have changed their build these days to take advantage of this Ags on the Ags snare, in addition to like extra catch.
Town Portal Scrolls, best counter to Bloodseeker in the game.
Usually the utility Bloodseeker does not suffer against this as much, but he A-toasted a little bit too early because he wanted to secure the blood right.
Yep.
Radiant's
Blood right,
middle
but didn't
tower
think
is
about
under
what would
attack.
happen after, and away she goes. But he's going to continue farming up. I think BKB next for him.
Oh, that was okay. That was my
I can't imagine.
Are you sure it's BKB?
I can't
be
imagine
Halberd,
it'll be Ags. Halberd would be very good. I wouldn't mind the Halberd. That's fair. I also
I don't mind.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think BKB is pretty good this game. Allows you to roll through or avoid the rolls of the Pangos. Gives Clockwork another hero that he maybe has to hookshot instead of Naga or your Tusk. I don't know. It's a good spot. Speaking of hookshots on the Tusk, there he goes. Arrow to follow up, and that'll be a very easy kill. But what can they get in return? As it looks like for now, it'll be a Clockwork, Pangolier, and Ember Spirit now actually caught underneath the Tier 1 tower, but he's got a Haste Rune, quite speedy and zippy as Borrow Time was manually activated there, interestingly enough. Yana is going to pick up the kill onto December, and that is going to be another extra kill here onto the Bloodseeker, a 6 times killing streak as well as that ended.
Fiend is destroying the Bloodseeker for being countered, technically. It doesn't really look like it. Fiend is doing a fantastic job of utilizing this Pango, and they're managing to make it back with this these kills on the Tusk. Like, Tusk is vital for these team fights if they want to be able to win them. But he's fallen behind, and while he's good here at skirmishing, he's also meant to just kind of destroy the early, right? You have 2 really strong pushing spells, you farm quite quickly, and you win skirmishes, but it's not happening. And Atomic is managing to settle their biggest problem, which is Tusk. Bloodseeker, even though he's very farmed, is not that big of an issue, and Medusa will naturally recover. And if you have Ember plus Medusa versus Naga, I do think that's going to be a much better scaling for Atomic.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Ember and scaling, did go for this Maelstrom, and I think a big reason why he has is because one big issue that Tusk is having is that anyone he jumps is just incredibly mobile, with maybe exception of the Clockwork, but Clockwork's not really in a position to be caught. Clockwork's been the one jumping in, usually in first enemy engaged, and if he dies, that's fine, he did his job. But what, you can't catch Pango, you can't catch Marana, Dusa's going to be not showing up to the fights for another 20 minutes, and Ember is just dancing around you. True.
I agree with you.
He's struggling.
Okay, go for Pango once again. They hit him with a Rupture this time. He still has the Rolling Thunder, by the way, with the Rupture ahead, so if we continue this team fight, this could be an issue. Jotun, though, for now, is taking all the spells. Might be killed by the Tusk, and they do get him in time. But now the Rolling Thunder comes from Fiend, and he's going to try to turn this around. Pufir gets him with the toy, a Tumbler's toy, as Pufir dies. Once again, manually activated Borrow Time by Havinci, which is not really going to help him out here. They're still going to chase him down. Yurushka in trouble. Havinci also dies to the backlines. Fiend takes after Yurushka with one last swashbuckle. He's with a sliver of HP, managing to make it away. December, unfortunately, might not be so lucky as the Flame Guard's taking him down. Yona knows where he is. One last light of fist, but he does not know where he is. Never mind. I overassumed that Yona went the complete opposite direction. And December, this month, is much more. It's much harder to kill than I imagined.
Dire's
Yes.
middle tower
Much
is under
like
attack.
something else we hear in December, which is All I Want for Christmas Is You. The squirrel refuses to die.
Wow, that was a stretch.
I do not like that song.
No, Mariah Carey makes royalties on that song every year.
I'm aware.
She is my idol.
Is she?
Not because of the song, but because of the royalties she makes. I would love to make a song once that is not even that good, like you said, and make royalties on it every year.
So you just want to not work, because is what you're saying.
Well, yes, I am Spanish, so this is not a surprise to anyone.
Yes, of course. Alvaro showing up in hour number 3 of the broadcast.
Don't know what you're talking about. This is what I was scheduled to begin with. And he's in trouble, but no longer. Because Rolling Thunder was available the whole time, and Rin just didn't really consider this. She's gonna try to sink, but she can't because the block battery is still. And that's going to be Rin dying, with Fiend still on to chase down after Havinci. Havinci has no more time, so he's going to die quite quickly as well.
I'm not opposed to taking the occasional
Yeah,
dirty.
that's a big kill there on the Nagasaki. Medusa comfortably farming away, slithering through
Dire's
the map,
bottom
clearing
tower
camp
is under
after
attack.
camp. Will do so now even more expeditiously as she picks up her ultimate orb for the Manta style, and then might be even able to join a couple
Dire's
more
bottom
fights when she
tower
can
has
dispel a
fallen.
silence or a root or something.
Sure.
Dire's bottom tower is
Yeah,
under
it feels
attack.
like it's looking scary with the impact the Pango is having, though. I was expecting the Bloodseeker to actually completely nullify this hero, but he already has the Lincolns. I don't know. I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like this Bloodseeker's pick has been justified at all.
These are both
I
off
mean, she's
laners,
as well.
of course, by the way, so you got to keep that in mind when you consider the impact that they're each having. One of them, even though Bloodseeker is off to a pretty good start in the early game and off the Atos, picked the kill onto the Ember Spirit, hasn't really made a lot of noise since then, except his death noises.
Pango is not really an offlaner, right? He's the cheating offlaner, where you're like, I want to play carry, I want to play mid, but I'm in the offlane, so I'll play Pango, right? And it's the closest thing. Because he does scale really well. This hero has a really nice late game. He can offer damage, he offers catch. Like, he's a very complete hero. Those, Peter told me, it was like, offlaners that play Pango are like mid laners that play Shadow Fiend. You're not really playing your position. You're just cheating the position a little bit.
A pushwhack mid, December once again trying to escape. Good job, good usage there of the fact that you actually lose vision when you get bushwhacked. Ziana had no idea where the squirrel went, and December decided to juke in a more unconventional direction. That being said, there was a ward there the whole time, so I guess he just got bored. Didn't want to eat squirrel for dinner.
They're not very nutritious, actually. They bring very little fat.
They are basically the rats of the trees, aren't they?
Yeah, the rats are pretty nutritious. Now in the city, there's these big juicy ones I catch every Friday.
Is that where you went last night after we got home?
Yeah, did you see me?
Yeah, I did see you actually. It was really weird. I heard you get down on all fours and scurry into the alley. I was wondering what that was about.
And when I was covered in cheese, did you not wonder why is he doing this?
I thought it was just your Thursday night cheese night.
No, I usually put it in my mouth, not in my body. Yona, he is chasing after December. There's Fire going in though, trying to finish off the clockwork, the arrow, the cover, and Fire's once again stuck in a rut. And they're just gonna kill him for free. How much he spent on the skill? Fiend chasing after December as well. Yoda has these searing chains ready, so the combo is going to be good, but he's going to be saved by the Aphotic Shield. However, the tower has already fallen. So Atomic got what they were looking for. They almost killed the squirrel. Once again saved by the Aphotic Shield. And now finally decide to retreat.
Yeah, that was close. And this Tusk, even with his Blink Dagger, just not cutting it. And now there's a BKB on Ember by the time that Tusk has really gotten his first item. I don't think we can truly count Falcon Blade. But Ember's got a Maelstrom and now a BKB. Medusa already has enough money for one of the 2 ultimate orbs necessary for the Eye of Scotty. Things are going to get real difficult here. Unless Naga can start to do something about this. She is still the richest hero in the game, only by a couple of creeps now over the Medusa. But haven't really felt her impact. She's only died now the once outside of the laning stage. KB finished now for Bloodseeker. Maybe he can look to get something done and achieved. It's so hard though. This Pango is really feeling like he's just getting a lot of stuff done.
Yeah. I mean, even in the last game they watched Fiend, right? 2 days ago when we were watching this guy playing the Bounty Hunter. It was just a very impressive performance by him. I feel like he's a very impactful offlaner by the looks of it. And I don't mean like impactful as a replacement of good, I mean quite literally that's what he does. Like he finds impact in all the heroes that he plays, he manages to stay relevant, and it's a very useful offlaner to have.
And Get the kill there. Lotus, though, from Mirana ensures that she does not get silenced and is able to leap away.
Dire's turret
Shot
has been
was
killed.
very ambitious. That's a level 1 hook shot, so the range not sufficient. Maybe level 2
Oh,
hook
wow.
shot would have reached.
That's a rarity to see that on the hook. I guess 2,000 cast range is really not that impressive.
2,000 casters, not that impressive. You hear this guy?
Yeah.
Try playing Naga Siren sometime. Or try playing Vengeful Spirit is what I meant to say.
Radiant's
Cast
bottom
range.
tower is under attack.
Omni Knight as well, no cast range. Ugh, so many heroes. Shadow Shaman. Give him 2,000 cast range, see what happens.
I think next time you pick up someone, try telling me you have 2,000 cast range. Fiend has a Lotus Orb, so the Bloodseeker Corruption himself here, but Fiend might just die. Okay, just barely making it out of the TP.
Nice. Gotta turn our audio down.
Honestly, I think this might have been the best case scenario because you were already fighting into the enemy high ground.
attack.
Yes, you're stronger, but you're not that much stronger. Especially with Adusa. I was going for a Scotty.
Yes. Don't eat pangolins, please. They are indeed a protected species.
Under
Alvaro, he has his limits. Rats, there's signs that encourage you to kill them. Pangolins, don't do it.
No. Yeah, please don't kill pangolins. Or penguins.
Yes, penguins are so cute.
Antarctic explorers were the last people to try penguins and turtle eggs, and we have to just respect that. That's the case.
We have to respect it. Indeed, indubitably.
They used to sell them canned, you know?
Don't tell me that. That's depressing.
Yoda has 2 remnants, so he can technically go in now and do shenanigans and then get out. There we go. I know my SCA players. They're gonna go for the hoodwink, and that's the dead hoodwink. Shenanigans completed. Towers acquired.
Are so adorable because they don't really have any natural predators for some of the species. So they will, when America or when British actually explorers started exploring the Antarctic, the penguins would just kind of walk up to them and say hello. There's lots of videos of scientists down there just kind of walking around, and penguins will just kind of stroll up and just say what's up because they never learn to be scared.
That's why it's so easy to can them.
That's true.
In more ways than one, actually.
Not what you expected?
You can cancel the TP there for the Clockwork. He'll stick around. Maybe
Yeah,
trying
he
to bait
canceled.
a bad engagement.
He felt bad. He's like, I bet it has no stuns, but you know what? I'll give him a chance, as if he had a stun.
Now maybe
I'll
they
make
can
him
look
feel
for the
important.
Bloodseeker. There's a hook shot in 10. It's maybe a little bit ambitious to look for it. They see Marb, but Marb has a full eye of Scotties, lots of stats. Even this Pupil's Gift, which is like the best neutral item for Medusa, at least a tier 2 neutral. Super good. Just give you all the stats that you want.
Kangaroo is fine to eat, my friend. They are pests.
Is that true?
Yeah, there's no issue
Radiant
there,
are
actually.
scanning.
Huh. I had no idea. Do you
It's
have to-
also, it's okay. It's like horse, if you're eating horse. It's
do you
very
have
muscly.
to beat the
lean.
kangaroos in a boxing match before you can eat it legally?
Usually I use guns. It's the easiest way to
Very
catch.
good. Very
Yeah.
good. No penguin soup. Stop it. Medusa in trouble though. Marb.
That's
Katie
escape, though.
can do a little something here. That's going to be, the Lotus, which pulls her into a snowball. That's going to make a lot of space and time now for the Ember and the Pangolier to both join the fight. Naga Siren is can at least sing a little song over people, but I think that's 2 TPs canceled there by the Rolling Thunder of Fiend. And the BKB,
BKB
forced.
for defusal.
That really
That
hurts.
feels bad. He still caught Rin regardless, and now Rin tries to use the mirror image, going for the Pango. Fiend at least has been ruptured, but Fiend has no more Rolling Thunder. She's gonna sit here and fight. Gets hit by the blood, right? Finally, Fiend will die when they hit for Rin, the enemy carry, so he's happy with that. They go for Havichi next, and Yorushka at the same time. Let's see if they can get the offlaner. That's what the really goal is. Marb with the Mystic Snake, a little bit of slow, plus that Rocket Flare. They'll get it, but Havichi will just be the dessert for them, as Atomic brings down the whole enemy team once again, and maybe another tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, they lose Fiend, but of course that's completely worth it for the amount of map control. They completely turn that around. 1 cast there on the Lotus Orb, and Marb is just instantly immortal. Really nice job there. Held himself in the snowball. I don't think if you get Lotus in snowball, I don't think you can actually pull yourself out any earlier, but that was the ideal scenario anyway, as the rest of Atomic Esports come in support, and they close the door. Zen without a chance. Without a snowball's chance in hell, you might say. I believe he's the same.
Good job. Talking about the snowballing man, though, I feel like this Tuskman does not have the impact I usually see from the Tuskman. Fallen off very hard this game. And as a result, your hopes are all pinned on the Naga Siren, which makes this Bloodthorn build that they like to go for and Ag's much worse, right? Because Naga Siren when you build that way is because you have a second carry that also utilizes your catch. So it's like a very active kind of build. But instead now she's been forced to go for the heart, which is an older build, not very common, well, not as common these days, I guess is a fair point. And also harder to play. This butterfly will annoy the Naga a lot, and that's exactly Marb's next item.
Yep, immediately specking into that. This Ember Spirit's also feeling probably elated at the amount of, or I guess at the lack of control that he's up against. Egg Scepter already completed, so he's going to be flying around in these fights. And I think this is second, no, it's his first rush, so he's going to have to buy himself the shard, but it is next in the quick buy.
Yeah, I think that's fine. That shard you can give Dusa. Dusa shard is always useful to have, right? So.
Agreed. We got a fair amount of targeted spells anyway, so nice to reflect a couple of those, get use a little bit more survivability. As Rin is probably gonna have to get out of here, I think, with the Ember showing.
Yeah, they thought Yoda was coming with other people, so he forces that diaspora of the dire side, all going back to their triangle.
Oh, he's invis now. Let's see if he's going to break the invis. He will. Maybe giving them a little hope. Okay, nice job. They trusted the sharpshooter. Sorry, they trusted the bushwhack there and saved Walrus Punch. That could have not turned out so well, but nice fight. Nice pick.
Man, it's very good. It's very good. Good pick off. I also feel like he didn't have to do that. Like, clearly they're only escaping you, not because you're the strongest member in the world, because they think your team's behind you. So the moment that the team shows, maybe leave. But yeah, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I guess he wanted to not have to deal with bottom pushing in anymore, right? Had that remnant top, and
I think the greed got the best of him personally. There.
Seems like it. Careful though, on the high ground are Atomic Esports. I heard another bushwhack, but that's onto Naga Illusions. Top lane, perhaps, KD. This is going to be a hard target here, realistically, with the Lotus and a Force Staff. I don't think these two heroes are going to be able to catch her. But Tusk in trouble. Good blink.
Use the roll-up as well to change directions to ensure Qualifiers stays stunned. No snowball available. They're going to leave it to the Quacker to kill him. He's struggling. Finally, Jotun gets him. Or to tell.
There's Jotun. Almost the neutrals, though. That was a bit close.
Yeah, it was very close. Not that it matters at this point. I don't think it's the gold that you want from the Tusk, who's, again, lower than your 4 position Mirana. So I think you're fine.
Yeah, he's having a rough game here for sure.
Also, I haven't really mentioned this. I mean, we mentioned this earlier, but just to clarify for the chat, MKB does not work on illusions. The proc, mind you, they do not get that proc, which is why illusion heroes hate MKB in general. In order of illusion heroes that don't mind that gets MKB, Terrorblade can get it. It's okay. PL also can get it. It's okay. It's not ideal. Not necessarily the worst one though, because she really does depend on illusion damage with the whole Riptide mechanic.
Yeah. It's because her illusions like actually last the longest. She's just got illusions for days.
And she plays around them, right? There's no meta to play around or stupid PL running at you, Phantom Rush thing. Or in the case of CK, I suppose you have the, what's it called, the Chaos Strike?
Yes, very true.
So the only player on Mirror Image, right? That's your big spell.
Yeah, I think as far as items go, careful here. Yep, that's oops. A little bar at a time. I can see that one coming. And did. Ember just tossing them into this Ember, 50 AoE damage is actually really annoying to deal with. Super annoying. And
the Remnant you mean?
Yeah, Remnant AoE damage. He's got shard now on Ember.
Yeah. So the Blink Dagger is constantly being cancelled on Tusk as well, right? And it's also all this residual damage between the split shot and like you said, the Remnant. It's a pretty good chart. I think people at the beginning got ignored it a lot because they just thought it wasn't really that impactful. But it's not meant to be. It's 1400 gold, right?
So
it's just meant to be a help.
What items work on illusions as far as applying debuffs and whatnot? It's Diffusal is the big one, obviously. It's not Basher.
Not Basher, not Desolator.
Desolator. Does Mage Slayer work? I think it does, right?
I think that would be really strong, actually. I think illusions applied to Mage Slayer.
I think it does work. I'm not sure.
I mean, we'll figure it out now with Naga because she's building it.
Oh, very true.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll see. I could be wrong. That would be very strong. I do agree.
Yes. Crits work too.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yep.
But it's kind of a cheat, right? Because crits work with the reduced illusion damage anyway.
Okay, there you go. This could be a really good pickup, honestly.
Yep.
Not my fault you don't dodge.
And the Rupture. They found the Ember with it too.
Now they found the Dusa as well here. Feed. And sorry, the Naga, I mean. And now the Naga is trying to sing, but they're not letting her. There he goes. Just sing, Naga.
They stoned her.
Oh no. you know, as they say, stone people can't sing, so poor Naga. She'll be losing her first life without being able to figure out if Mage Slayer works at illusions.
Oh no, that's
We're not gonna find out, Richie.
We're not gonna find out. We'll have to go into a demo lobby and test it out. Unfortunately, no learning today.
No learning today, says Fiend. What a great backup performance by him this game.
Honestly. And good positioning there by the Dusa, by the way, who kind of predicted that the Bonk was going to push her, you know, south of Dusa and repositioned herself to ensure that she was facing the right direction. Or, I guess, if you're Naga, the wrong direction. Yeah, they are making this one look easy. Atomic Esports are now, it seems like moments away from getting, once again, for I think the third time out of 4 open qualifiers, getting to the best of 3 stage. Well played. Of course, given that this is the last round of qualifiers, there's no way that there's going to be an early GG here. Snowball is going to catch the Marana as Yana is simply just going to remnant his way to safety. In fact, he's going to stick around and toss a couple more sleight of fist, seeing what he can do. Fiend is going to intercept the hook shot, however. That seems like that'll be the end of this engagement. That is, unless Yana's got anything to say about it. And he doesn't, just a parting word.
Yeah, well, I think once Fiend uses the Rolling Thunder, you either like completely engage this Rolling Thunder or you disengage. There was no point in continuing this, and I appreciate that Atomic acknowledges that there's no need for them to rush this whatsoever. Yeah,
very true.
This Medusa is a bit too farm. They have nothing to deal with her. I mean, maybe with Bloodthorn it's a little bit easier. We'll see now.
We'll see if they can even catch her.
I don't know what pushed her back.
Come on, hit her. Hit the...
Oh, there. Yeah, okay, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be really strong.
Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I thought it wouldn't work.
So it's just crits and defusal. Oh, this is a good effort.
This is a good effort. Oh, Fiend was like, I'm a ball now. I'm a ball. Balls can't here. Yona? Yoshi avoids the Walrus Punch. Now gets hit by the BKB though. Hits for a lot of the residual damage as well. As Rin has been ruined. So Stonegate to be used and Rin can't get out of this. The GG is called the moment the Naga falls. Zen will be losing this game. And Atomic once again making it top topic.
Yeah, congrats to Atomic. See if they're a bit luckier this time now that the 6 teams have already qualified. Because they've been there a lot. I've been watching them. I think I caught one of their games early on
3 out of 4?
In the first round. No, we're done. We're done.
No, I mean 3 out of 4 times that Atomic makes it to.
Yes, 3 out of 4. Yes, I thought you said is there more.
No.
I believe there is not more. Let me double check. See what our bracket's up to.
Let me see. I was gonna check.
Nope, it looks that we are done for today. We have 8 teams. Who made it through? Let's go ahead. Oh, Crazy Freaking Kids. They made it to day 2. Look at that.
Crazy freaking kids.
Crazy freaking kids.
So this time, unless I'm looking at the wrong open qualifier.
Well, you should have 2 rounds that are incomplete. You're looking at
yes. Okay, good, yes. RZ Sports, Hope, Atomic Esports, Reaper, Kobolds, nice, Nerdrig, Laridma, and Crazy Freaking Kids.
Yeah, you missed it, but apparently it's pronounced Kobolds. We had a really lengthy discussion during game 1. They're pronounced Kobolds, apparently.
Kobolds?
Yeah, Kobolds. Like almost like they're balds, but like
Is that
not
really
quite.
actually how it's pronounced?
Apparently. Listen, we really discussed it. We discussed a lot of things, okay?
To be honest, I've always called it Kobold.
Me too. I always thought it was Kobold as well. And then someone called me bougie for pronouncing it Kobold. And they said, no, it's Kobold. And I went, all right, well, who's the bougie one?
I'm more fascinated by the fact that someone used that word, which I've only ever heard you use. So that's incredible.
Trust me, lots of other people that, you know, you only use it if you have the Riz, and you just don't have the Riz.
I have definitely seen casters with alt before. I've never seen a caster with an alt that insults himself. So that's very fascinating. Today I learned. Very, very cool. Out of these teams that made it, though, I will point out that Crazy Freaking Kids only made it through a forfeit. So did Nerdrig, and so did RZ Esports, right? So it's actually only Hope, Laridma, Atomic Esports, Reaper, and Kobolds that made it.
Yeah. Well played. We'll see who is going to be moving
2 more
on
teams
tomorrow, because we're already done for today. We are done.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
See.
Thanks for coming, Ava.
Thank you, Richie, for covering. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
We'll be
thanks
back
everyone
tomorrow,
else
guys,
for tuning in. We had a lot of fun conversations early on. Tomorrow, back to the stream delay, back to best of 3s, and that should be real fun when we see who is going to close out our 8 teams for the closed qualifiers. Until then, guys, stay safe. Oliver, any closing comments or thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to remind you guys that after the opens, of course, that we still have the closed qualifiers.
Oh, yeah.
I think the system can be a little bit confusing sometimes. And the closed qualifiers will be happening just right after, and we'll still have all the teams that you guys know and love, like, you know, the Neons, the Lil Guns, Spawn, etc., they'll be participating then. So do not forget to tune in for those days, because there will be more traditional, I guess, playoff days, and very, very fun to watch.
Yeah, and we'll be able to cover all those matches. It's just not really feasibly possible for the open qualifiers to cover every match. We try and cover, I think, the most interesting ones. But for close qualifiers, we'll cover all of them. And you know what? I'm going to end on 2 words that I think is a good sending off, as well as a reminder of the team that's currently placed first and seated first in the closed qualifiers. Drink water, everyone. See you later.
Miracle.